the first video on the docket is actually, it is about Star Wars, but it's also, like, I'm afraid Rags and I have seen this one already, because it's kind of infuriating, but it's from Wisecrack, and they are going to argue why we should be nice to the Star Wars sequel trilogy, and their argument is gonna surprise, alright? It will surprise. It's gonna be fun stuff. So I'm gonna give you all the link in a moment, once Watch Together behaves. Alright, there you go. Teal Deer, have you used Watch Together before? Do you know how it works?
It sounds like something I've used. I assume you go in there and you can watch things at the same time as other people.
Yeah, we share the pause button. We don't share the volume. You can set yours to whatever you want. But obviously, you pause it pauses for all of us, that sort of thing. Very useful. The show is not sponsored by Watch Together, though we would accept their patronage because they're wonderful.
This show is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends.
No.
They also hate Star Wars.
Rags, we will be the last people on this earth that are not sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends if we have to be, okay? It's gonna happen.
The revolution begins here.
It's infecting every YouTuber I watch. It's like, eventually they're just like, well, Quinton did it recently, and I think, like, he was posting on Twitter about loads of people being like, you sold out to Raid Shadow Legends. He's like, what? It's hilarious because, like, it's just the people. I think it's associated now as a thing that you shouldn't shill for, I guess, because it's shilled for so much.
Yeah, the only one I've been offered recently that I actually quite liked was World of Warships, and I was like, man, I actually like the idea of having my own battleship. That could be quite good.
Trying to see if does anyone play Raid Shadow Legends, like on the planet? I mean,
wait, it's a game?
Oh, I've heard. Hey, anyone in chat? Do you play it? Is it a lie? Does no one play it? Is it just
actually a thing?
Is it just Russian bots? Is that it? It's bad. I wanted Jay to review it. He said he would. Nope. No. Apparently Jay has played it though. No, I did. Oh, there is someone.
So how much money did you end up having to spend microtransactions to make it work?
Huh. I mean, one of the ads are like, you can pay to skip, like, loads of the gameplay. It's like, oh man.
You can pay to fucking not play this video game.
Oh, great. When you've been tricked into that,
circle.
That's when you're in trouble. You need to reevaluate, like, why you even play games in the first place. You're like,
I don't know. That's like, you know, if you can go to the theater,
straight to the end cinematic.
Go to the theater, buy a ticket for a movie, and then before you go into the actual theater, there's a guy who says, you know, for an extra $9.99, you don't have to watch this movie. And you're like, you know what? That sounds pretty good.
If it's a Disney Star Wars movie, I would take that offer every time.
That's money well spent.
Hey, I saw someone in chat ask it. I'm gonna do a variation of the question. Let's say Star Wars Episode 10 was coming out, and the trailer looked awful, and that they brought back Vader, all this other stuff. And then Disney emailed you, and this applies to the whole panel here, to shill for the movie. How much would they have to offer before you'd say yes?
More than my channel's actually worth, because I would lose like 98% of my subscribers, I think.
What do you reckon?
I mean, it depends on what the shill is, I guess.
So, like, going full throttle, you have to say, I love this movie, I've had an early screening, it's incredible, the writing is impeccable. They take this. They respect the everything about Star Wars fully. They fix all the problems. They appreciate the fans. The acting's amazing. Every element of filmmaking is amazing. What would it take for you to say that?
I don't think any amount of money could, honestly.
Yeah, I would just say no. I'd be like, nah, I'll be fine. You guys go ahead.
It's like, no. I think my integrity is worth more than anything you can do.
One thing I will say is if they offered something like 1.2 billion, you can actually be like, depending on your contract, you can do it and then be like, right, I'm going to go and invest this in all kinds of like charities and to help the world in really significant ways if you get to that level of money. And
I think what I would have to do is I would have to take the bullet and say, I want everything. I want full control over everything Disney. forever, so I could literally like all of your stock,
be a
everything. The
majority
entire company
shareholder.
is
For one
mine.
review.
Yeah, because that way it could be like, right, that's it. Now I am shutting down your Star Wars division. You are not allowed to do anything ever again. Just that I would use it to destroy Disney. And everyone could hate me as much as it was, but at least after that, I could be like, look, guys, I'm so sorry, but it was in service of the greater good. Just fucking
Yeah, I think
Disney
that's what I would
over
probably
You'd
argue
be
at
like
that point.
Thanos at the end of Infinity War. You're just like sitting
Yeah.
in a shack somewhere, like, I've done good.
Yeah.
Perfectly
Yeah,
balanced.
it would be. It's like, you know what I have to do here? You have to give me thing. I'm going to rend your company down to the final atom.
I'd sure as hell accept
What will it cost us?
if they made me
Everything.
CEO of Disney afterward, because I'd be like, oh, we're gonna make some changes, lads. Here we go. It's like every single remake of Disney classic movies would put them on hold. It's like, oh no. I'd be like, but
I heard I read someplace that for this Mulan remake that they were taking like Shang's character, the love interest guy, they're
Mhm.
splitting him into two different characters because they feel like Disney feels in the age of Me Too that having a female with a superior that's also a love interest just wouldn't be appropriate for these times. So they're just turning his character into two completely different characters now. Hooray!
This movie's just got win written all over it. Like,
have they finished filming it,
it's-
or is it being filmed now?
well, the trailer's out, so I assume it's done filming.
Because like this might go down as like something of if it fucks up enough, it'll finally make Disney bleed in the remakes department, because they're obviously bleeding all over the place with Star Wars. The MCU is on rocky ground, but the Disney originals being remade seem to be like immune to losing money. But this one could be the one.
Well,
I
I mean,
wonder
the
if Lady
original
and the
wasn't a
Tramp
big
made money.
success, was it? Like, that was one of their few failures, was Mulan.
Was it?
I mean, I don't think it made like much money for them back in the day. So you've basically got a live action remake of a movie that wasn't particularly popular to begin with, and now you're wokeifying it as well. So it doesn't really scream like success to me.
You know what could be another fun one? Going back to the shilling for the new Disney thing. Saying in your contract, instead of anything else, I want you to make a remake of Song of the South and be completely true to the original. Don't change anything.
Slavery's great.
See what would happen.
So Mulan's budget was 90 million, and it made 300 million. So yeah, that's probably low for Disney standards, I guess. But I guess it still made a profit. It's just, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it does. I don't know. We'll have to find out.
Yeah, I need to. I want to find out if Lady and the Tramp like lost them money or anything like that, because the reviews for that. Remember that just sort of flew under the radar. It just sort of disappeared, and
It's kind
no one
of
talks
ridiculous
about
that it's out. It's like, wow.
Yeah, but it was not reviewed very well at all, and it looked terrible based on the trailer that I saw. But I think it's like a Disney Plus thing, so I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, I guess if it's Disney Plus, do they release like budget and I don't know, anything really about it? I'm trying to find it now, and it's like,
well, like used to be like direct to DVD sequels kind of thing.
yeah, I wonder if like all of that is actually not stuff we can find out. I'm really surprised they wouldn't have just tried to release that as a full thing. I guess they really want people to use Disney Plus.
They'll release Lady and the Tramp 2.
Oh, sorry, it's not out yet.
Scamp's Adventure.
It's
the
out on March
remake.
24th.
Oh, it's not even out?
Yeah, just under a month, and that's coming out. See, we thought it was out. We didn't even...
Release date November 12th, 2019.
Oh, well, the one I've got says coming soon, March 25th, 2020. Maybe that's coming somewhere else?
This is for Lady and the Tramp?
Yeah. Can put it on
In
screen.
the US, it's November 12th.
Yeah, maybe that is... Oh, yeah, maybe it is the UK it gets
Budget.
released. Okay.
Million.
Yeah, that's the 25th of March. That's when Disney Plus goes live in the UK, isn't it?
Ah, that makes sense.
Right. So yeah, so I guess it was limited by that.
We've already been underwhelmed over here, but now you can look forward to it. Hooray.
Let's watch it. I am
Brace yourself.
excited. It'll be great. But yeah, I guess we can begin watching this wonderful video then. It'll be so this is called Star Wars: An Apology. Don't
I'm sorry. I feel like I think that they have a lot to apologize for. I agree.
Oh yeah, well,
I feel like
for
they
this
think there's a
video,
lot
or?
to apologize for.
Let's make sure it's working for everybody.
This video is brought to you by...
Alright, did that show up for everyone?
Yes.
Yep.
I need to
This
turn them
is
down.
my favorite part, but this is also Wisecrack edition,
Yeah,
sponsored by Honey.
I think we've watched. Is it 2 Wisecrack videos over the course of EFAP? It's either 1 or 2. They have some interesting ideas.
2,
Let's put it that way.
I think. Right?
We
no,
def-
1. 1?
It was a Game of Thrones one, wasn't it? And something else, or was it a Game? It was
No,
about.
it
Remember the
was-
middle? The reason we don't like Game of Thrones is because people like the middle.
Yeah, that was the one with the ad for the Walking Dead game that they play all the time, and if you get it, then you could play with your favorite YouTubers, which is us.
Oh, that's Raid Shadow Legends though. Also, yeah, Drinker in one of these Wisecrack videos, they argue that the reason people didn't like the ending of Game of Thrones is because people don't like it when things end. Like, yeah, that's totally it, guys. You got it. They spent a really long time on it. They talk about like the almost the history of like entertainment to a degree. They even go back to like Colosseums and stuff.
Their grasp of human psychology is firm.
Well, I just like, is it possible that it's just really poorly written? It's like,
Yeah.
no. But yeah, they're gonna explain to us why we need to apologize to Star Wars. You guys excited?
Can't wait.
I'm very excited. Let me actually turn on my AC, and I'll be right back because it's getting hot.
No
I'm
problem.
gonna get another drink actually before we start this.
An alcoholitism drink?
Yeah, I've got the Kraken out tonight, so
Damn it, if you do it, I'm gonna have to drink something.
All right.
I can't leave you alone.
All right. I'm ready for
Rags, have you got any
ready
beers?
No, I had one before I came. I actually don't have any here. I have
Damn.
another drink. I don't have any beers. Should I have some?
Well, if
You should
Drinker's
always
gonna
have
be
some.
drinking, then are you like actually your character? Do you actually drink all the time?
probably more than I should.
I like having you on. It gives me an excuse to drink. That sounds awful out of context, doesn't it? Then again, I'm pretty sure Rags will give me an excuse to drink 1 beer, and I feel like I'm several pints of vodka behind him, you know? I'm like, shit, man.
No, I figure with last time I was sick. Now I want to have an EFAP where I am lucid and focused, relatively healthy, where I can really devote myself to just the content we're going through without
Very-
alcohol getting in the way.
Very well.
Even though I kind of want to.
Oh my god, someone in chat said Iron Man 3 is worse than Captain Marvel. Ooh.
I don't
That's,
know about
that's a
that.
hot take.
I don't know if I agree with that. Captain Marvel's one of the worst things. The writing of that movie. But no, I don't like Iron Man 3 either, so it's anyway, let's kick on. This is going to be wonderful and exciting.
by Honey.
This video sponsored by Insect Vomit.
Their intro, how could you say that?
Hey Wisecrack,
Huzzah,
Michael here, ready
that's my
to
favorite
peer into
part.
the darkest abyss of all. Arguments about Star Wars. The Rise of Skywalker burst into theaters and perhaps unsurprisingly, left public opinion more split than Darth Maul. Like The Last Jedi before...
See, he got split in half, guys. That's what that reference means,
He
all you
made a
Star
joke.
Wars fans.
Why did you...
Well, it's... I just feel like most people would know how Darth Maul dies.
What a strange edit. It's just like, do you reckon we should play the clip of where Darth Maul is cut in half in case they don't get it?
Just in case they forgot.
That
to
I
get
think tells you
realized.
everything you need to know, not them, about their audience.
Super
Like,
normal.
we can't just say it; we have to show it because I don't think that they might have
Oh.
seen it.
His visual matched the thing he said. That's such good editing.
I mean, I'd have been
Here you go.
fine with
This
it
is
if
them.
they just didn't show the clip. They didn't need it. What do I know? You know.
For it, The Rise of Skywalker seems to be a love it or hate it kind of film.
Does it?
I don't think I've heard anyone say they love this film.
There is one person I've seen say I love it, and it's actually one of the potential videos that we might respond to in future.
Oh my god.
But,
well, if it's the second video on the playlist, then yeah, it's one we'll get to in the future. I mean, all videos we get to are going to be in the future, Mahler.
What about ones we don't get to?
No, all the videos that we're going to get to are going to be in the future.
Well,
Not going to be in the past,
why not?
because that's not how time works.
Well,
True.
technically, they are all in the past because they all already exist. So the videos are actually in the past now.
There you
Oh,
go.
that we
Theoretical
cover.
videos that we're going to look at some point in the future that haven't been made yet. They're not yet in the past.
So we agree, everything is simultaneously in the past and future.
Just
All
like Palpatine.
time is like a river, a flower river.
A circle.
The point was,
Yes.
I don't think this is what I would happily
Point is, anime
concede.
is shit.
TLJ was loved, sure, and it was hated, sure. Rise of Skywalker, I think that was just hated or people were apathetic. I don't think anybody
Yeah.
loved it, right?
Yeah, I
I
think
think we're way
apathy was
too
probably the main one.
on it.
I don't think people vehemently hated it. It was just more like, meh, it was just shit.
Well, way less people love the Rise of Skywalker than love the Last Jedi.
Yeah, for sure.
There's still some interesting people who think that the Last Jedi is good and they love it.
It was only like a month before we saw Rise of Skywalker that we checked out a brand new video talking about how good TLJ was. Like they'll be making those videos probably till the end of time. Rise of Skywalker people though, they'll peter out within the next month probably.
Well, unless
Like
one of
the
these
last-
amazing videos, has all the reasons why,
It's true, could happen.
or unless Star Wars just fucking apologizes for the Rise of Skywalker.
Star Wars should be apologizing to
An
us.
apology is George Lucas. We're gonna pay you to apologize on our behalf.
Last Jedi before it, The Rise of Skywalker seems to be a love it or hate it kind of film. Regardless of which camp you fall into, though, there are probably some choices in the movie that irk you. Maybe it was the new
One or two.
narrative reveals, or maybe it was the way the film handled or mishandled the choices of the previous installments. But what if all of these arguments miss the real point? What
Oh
if
my
the way to look at
goodness.
Star Wars is
Only us at Wisecrack are smart enough to understand the real issues of the Rise of Skywalker
Well,
and explain them to you.
it's interesting because I
Download
feel like
Honey
he's
today.
speaking to both camps right now, like the ones that think the film just doesn't make any sense, and the ones that think it contradicts TLJ. Like they're almost the two people he just referenced, and he's like, maybe you're both wrong. It's like you want to take on both of those camps at the same time.
Okay,
Oh
you
my
want to be
God.
the enlightened alt-centrist fence sitter that everyone hates.
I mean, he's
Because
going
you're
further
right
than
about
that. He's
everything.
saying that it's actually good.
Oh my!
He's on the opposite
God,
side of the
Rise
fence,
Skywalker's
shouting at us for
good?
being, he's gonna bring us over though. We're gonna get there.
Man's making friends.
not as a series of good and bad choices designed to make us eternally rage, but as part of a long storytelling tradition. That is to say, what if we view Star Wars as an epic? And could dusting off some King Arthur
What? As a storytelling tradition of producing shit.
Hey man.
Well, they've made it a tradition.
If we view it as an epic,
Well, the
It's
first
still
question we all have
shit.
is like, define epic, please.
Well, wasn't that a movie?
What, epic? Is that a movie?
Yeah, wasn't that like a fairy movie or something?
Epic.
Not a movie
Uh,
about gay people, like with like they rode on like owls and stuff.
Fairy movie. Fuck, I don't know. I've
Epic
never heard of
movie.
it.
Epic movie.
Oh, epic movie I've heard of. Yeah.
Epic. Not the one from 2007.
Okay, so which one are you talking about?
What is it the one from 2013? Yes, from 2013. Remember that? I remember like of it. I don't.
It was called
remember
Epic
that of
Movie,
it.
yeah?
It was no. It was called Epic
Oh.
in lowercase.
Oh.
Here. Let me paste it right there. You remember this? Remember that? They rode on hummingbirds. They were like little elf people.
Oh, I didn't even know this existed.
Yeah.
I
remember this
simultaneously remember it and don't remember it.
Epic. So what does it say?
Epic.
A teenager finds herself transported to a deep forest setting where a battle between the forces of good and the forces of evil is taking place.
Oh my God, Jay is in this movie. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Oh.
Jay's gonna fuck you up, dude.
I'm sorry, it just looks like you. Okay. Oh my goodness, epic.
Jay seems on board actually.
This guy. Well, at least you're taller than CJ. So let's move on.
All right.
But I just wanted to I don't know if I was. It's one of those movies that I almost think is like a figment of my imagination. I was like, did this
Yeah, you have to be like, did
happen?
this? Yeah. Was this a film I saw?
Am I just combining like 4 other movies in my head and called it epic?
He should know better than to use the word epic when being responded to by EFAP, you know. Brink, you were there for that, right?
Jay said,
Yeah,
I'm going
celestially
I'm gonna
epic.
sue for use of my
Celestial.
image.
Oh my. Anyway, yes.
To say, what if we view Star Wars as an epic? And could dusting off some King Arthur manuscripts help us finally come to terms with the sequel trilogy as a whole? Let's find out in this wide.
Does King Arthur hold the key to why Star Wars isn't actually shit?
King Arthur's gonna
Okay.
save the day.
King Arthur's
Please
like,
do.
y'all lost, this sucks.
Please do. I have read the Mabinogion a few times now. Please link this to that.
I feel like this will be a thorough explanation of how King Arthur explained Star Wars good.
Mhm.
As Track
This
Edition.
movie dust sucks.
How dare
Oh,
you stand
look,
where
dude,
he
look how
stood.
their faces kind of line up, though they don't. But look. So good.
On the Rise of Skywalker. And heads up, spoiler alert for pretty much all of Star Wars ahead. But
Yeah,
before
you
we
don't
get
wanna
into that,
keep
I
the
gotta give it up to
story
Honey.
spoiled.
Honey is the free.
I gotta give it up to Honey.
Give it up to Honey, boy.
Look at that. Add to Chrome. It's free. It's like, I think you need to start. I think Raid Shadow Legends ruined saying it's free.
It's free, but best of all, it's free. And best of all, it requires no commitment whatsoever.
Free browser extension that automatically applies discounts to save you
Whoa.
money
I mean,
when
to
you
be
shop
fair,
online.
Honey is really great, and everyone should have Honey installed.
I imagine it probably is.
And
pretty
it
good.
totally, you're gonna have a serious moment here, not like the Constellation, but like Grave. Yeah,
Ah, Sirius.
everyone should.
Sirius
everyone should
Black
have
you could have
Honey.
gone with as well.
Sirius Black. He
The-
was white though.
The Harold Potter character.
Harold Potter. Is his name actually Harold, like in canon?
I don't
Was it
know.
short for?
It wouldn't work as
Let me
well, would
Google
it? Harold.
Is Harry
Officer
really Harold?
You're a wizard,
Harold's
Harold.
given name. Is Harry Potter's name Harold? No, it's just Harry.
Oh.
It's like when he was born, his dad was like, "Oh, he's Harry."
That's it. They don't even ask for clarification. They're like, Harry it is. They stamp
It's
his
Harry
birth
it is.
certificate.
And they're like, "No, no, no." It's like, "No, no backsies for the doctors. No backsies."
You all heard it. He said it.
If there's one thing y'all don't know about me, it's how much I like
Here's your
sneakers.
baby to
You
deliver.
can never see them for obvious reasons, but trust me when I say I have some really fun shoes. Anyways,
Oh.
this means I like to look online and see
I
what's
have
new
fun
for my favorite.
shoes. Ladies, if a man tells you he has fun shoes, run away. Run away.
But he'll be able to chase them with his fun shoes.
Shoe
No,
retail.
please,
When
come
I
back to
finally
my
do
fun
purchase
house.
a new pair, I use Honey to
Is
suggest
this going to be like the
discount
first 12 minutes of the video?
I'm sure it won't exceed.
Who buys shoes online? Don't you need to like wear them to see if they feel good?
Yeah, I guess as long as you got your sizes right, you could just hope. It's
You
like,
could just hope.
I'll
You
just
could
assume that's
hope.
comfortable.
Rags,
That's what I look for in
rebellions are
shopping.
built on hope. Hope is like the sun.
They're called
It
sneakers.
burns you.
Hope is like the sun. If it wasn't for the atmosphere, it would murder you in the most terrible, horrible way imaginable.
It's like
You can't get anywhere
everyone's
near
just
it. You
curious, like
can't look
what
at it without hurting yourself.
what are they trying to say about hope with that sentence?
code so that I
It's
can save
terrible.
some cash. If Honey is unable to find a code, they usually offer me gold that I can apply towards gift cards to other stores online. It's a
They
win-win.
offered me
Honey can help you
gold.
Get gold from the shop goblin.
Honey gives you gold.
Not just internet gold, real gold.
Oh, Real golden nuggets.
Save on your favorite sites too. They support over 30,000 online stores.
I just like to
include
fuck
Target, Walmart,
bees.
and even Domino's. They're
Whoa.
Even Domino's.
Whoa, even Domino's. That
BRB,
niche
Salt and
company
Honey.
you've probably never heard of.
I imagine that's quite the appealing thing.
Even Domino's.
Do you think the reason he said that is to make everybody who regularly eats pizza from Domino's to think like, oh my god, they appeal to me? Like I'm like the only person who regularly gets Domino's. Even Domino's. It's like surely that'd be one of the more popular ones. I don't know.
There is no
Wait,
reason not to check it out. Honey
Even
has
the
already saved
laundromat down
Wisecrack
the
subscribers over 27,000.
Whoa.
Whoa!
Can I
Can I get
redeem the gold from Honey
$27,000
in
worth of
Raid Shadow?
gold?
And you can receive this in bars of gold.
Bars of gold.
We'll mail it to you for
Gold.
free. You're like, damn, this is a good deal.
$1,000.
We just
it only
give
takes
you
2
money.
clicks to install, so there is no reason not to check it out.
All right.
Go to
Business model.
joinhoney.com/wisecrack today to start saving. That's
So
Just
go
2
to
clicks and you'll have all your bank
joeinhoney.com.
Joe and Honey. I'm Joe. I love honey.
You open up the website, there's just a person drowning in honey, like, whoa!
I'm Joe. Help me.
My name's Joe.
Hang in there, Joe.
Like,
You know how
why,
hard it is to tread honey?
like, why did you feel the need to tell us your name, Joe? It's like, help.
This Joe, he's a sticky boy. Out there.
joinhoney.com/wisecrack. Now
Do you remember what this video was about? Star Wars.
No.
Sorry, I keep thinking about Joe and Honey.
back to the
That
show.
sounds like a
While the
scene from
sequels
that
were
epic
generally
movie.
better
Oh,
received.
sorry, he's come back to Star Wars.
That's joinhoney.com/wisecrack. Now, back to the show. While the sequels were generally better received than the prequels, they
Ooh.
I don't know about that.
No.
I don't know about that. Like it's kind of
is-
hard to be definitive, but if you
What
guys
is
were to guess whether or not the prequels or the sequels were better received, which one would you put your money on?
Prequels.
Prequels.
Yeah.
Based on
Yeah.
merchandise sales, if nothing else.
I mean, from memory, I know it's from like the perspective of a small child, a small little doggo.
Mm-hmm.
But man, my imagination went wild with the prequels.
I just like
I wanted the toys, I wanted the characters, I wanted to know what was up. I was like, oh, it's like a whole new Star Wars, and it's oh man,
in
I
fact,
loved it.
a lot of people will tell you that the Phantom Menace was well received for a while. And Chris Stuckman does that thing where he talks about how like everybody didn't realize everyone was. I think he calls it Phantom Menacing. And it's the process of being like you haven't come to terms with how bad a thing is yet, or whatever. But if you compare, like, I would give you Force Awakens happily, even though at this point it's kind of diminished. But everyone knows TLJ was incredibly divisive, and then fucking Rise of Skywalker, like, that just got shat on by everybody, like, critic-wise. I don't... Like, comparatively, Revenge of the Sith was quite... I'm not going to say critically acclaimed, but enjoyed, from my perspective, anyway.
I think the difference is that, like, there really wasn't social media back then like we have now, so it's
Yeah.
hard to know how that would have fanned the flames back then. I think it would have been a bit different how it would have been received, but yeah, I still think the prequels were better received overall than the sequel trilogy.
Interesting, but he seems so sure of it. I wonder what the metric he's going by would be.
.com/wisecrack. Now, back to the show. While the sequels were generally better received than the prequels, they've
Yeah, I'd be curious to read this article from Screen Rant.
Oh, yeah, let's get a pause on that,
Wisecrack.
actually.
Now, back to the show. While the sequels
The Star Wars
So
prequels are not
I linked it
better.
in the Discord. I'm curious if Screen Rant allows comments. More and more sites stop allowing comments because they're calling out their bullshit all the time. It doesn't seem like they're.
Also, are they citing their own article? Unless it has, like, you know...
Screen Rant? Is that like part of Wisecrack?
Oh, maybe not. Sorry, I think I just saw the color and I was just the color scheme. But yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But well, my second point was going to be it wouldn't even matter if it wasn't theirs if the article doesn't actually cite anything metric, I guess. Imperial, I should have said. Imperial. What word am I looking for? Something that isn't someone thought this. Empirical. That was the word I was looking for.
Empirical.
But yeah, sorry, Screen Rant. That's they suck, don't they? Are they like the worst? Isn't that someone? I think Jay's response. Yeah,
I don't even like
Yeah,
it's
they're
it's just some rag.
Yeah, they're
I-
just clickbait bullshit now, are they not?
I'm reading this here. Star Wars: The Last Jedi is the most divisive movie of the Star Wars saga, mostly because of its choices around certain characters and its writing in general. Taking a step away from the script for a moment, it's again clear that this is on another level as a Star Wars film. Not since The Empire Strikes Back has the saga been so visually stunning. The throne room action sequence mixes inventive lightsaber fight with indelible imagery.
Whoa.
And I had to look up indelible because no one knows what that fucking word means. It means not able to be forgotten or removed, as in like weapons from people's hands in post.
Nice segue there.
That was beautiful.
It's this is a bad article based on this one paragraph. I'm calling it.
So what are they appealing to then as a whole? Just that this
Well,
is better.
if we want to, I'll look at their little bullet points, I guess. How Disney has caused the prequels reassessment. The Star Wars prequels still have too many problems, and they have Disney's Star Wars sequels are much better movies. And they show a screenshot from the throne room scene where Rey is kicking 3 people with her 1 foot.
Ugh.
It's not just that, she also deflects their lightsabers because they kind of all go in at the same time. She parries the blow. So she is strong enough to withstand 3 guys, twice her size, hitting her all at the same time, just with her own strength, and then she kicks them away.
The problem's bad enough that they all aim to the same spot, but the fact that she was able to hold them all there as well, it's like, wow.
Well, that's just what you do in melee combat. You actually aim for the other person's weapon.
Mm-hmm. So that's how you nail it. Like, even if the weapon's on the floor, you need to go for that weapon. Even if the weapon disappears, which is very common in the Star Wars universe, unfortunately. Just hope it doesn't happen to you at the worst times. That's when it gets really bad. But yeah, I think it's safe to conclude that the sequel trilogy has been received worse. And if you wanted to say that's because of social media, I wouldn't even necessarily disagree. I'd just be like, okay, but it's still the truth, right? The prequels.
I just feel like if I was an Emperor Man person, clone, whatever the fuck Snoke is, who knows? I would want my elite guards to have like guns.
I
I
agree.
don't know.
Makes
I
sense.
just feel like, it's call me stupid.
Not to bring up something slightly unrelated, but they do this in Star Trek Picard as well, where there's a character who's got a sword, not even a lightsaber that can deflect laser blasts or whatever, just an actual metal sword, and he's the guy they recruit because they need help. They need someone to fight for them. It's
can it deflect phasers?
No, it's just a sword. Like literally, if you held it up to a phaser blast, it would just get vaporized along with you.
Well, it's cool though, right?
That's it. It looks cool visually, and you get to slice people's heads off with it. So that's all that matters.
There you go.
Those were generally better received than the prequels. They've still attracted an array of criticisms. Fans and critics alike have been vocal about a lack of originality, an apparent disrespect to what came before.
Apparent disrespect.
Apparent. It only seems that way, guy. It's just that it's an
overabundance of fan service, and a lack of character development for friends both old and new. This ongoing discourse is manifested.
Well, it's not so much the lack of development as in like subtracting all the development they did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was funny because Rich Evans described Han Solo in The Force Awakens as he hadn't changed since the end of the OT, and I was like,
but he did.
No, he's regressed. He's a New Hope Han Solo, but incompetent. Like, they've undone his development, because he's like kind of an asshole, he's kind of crotchety, and he's also a smuggler again, with no connections to, like, fucking people outside of Chewie. And for some reason, he's not even good at his job.
People outside of Jews.
I mean, you can interpret that how you want.
That's
so,
what
like,
tore their marriage apart.
You would have to be outside of Chewie to do that, though.
Spends a lot of time inside of Chewie, but that's another matter.
Yeah, like they regressed him. They gave him counter development, if you want to call it that. And then Luke, you want to go there? And then Leia is someone I guess you could say kind of stayed the same. I don't know. They just didn't do much with Leia.
It's hard to tell. She's got no personality and she does nothing throughout any of the movies.
Pretty much. She hugged Chewie once, maybe twice.
Yeah.
Hugged Han once.
She talked to Han about getting a new jacket.
Oh yeah.
Brilliant dialogue.
That was something that happened.
Increasingly less impressive box office earnings for each installment of the series. With all that said, it'd be natural.
That's insane.
It is, because we
Like,
could be looking at an alternate universe where, you know, Episode 9 got like, you know, 3 to 4 billion. There's no reason why it couldn't have.
The domestic for Star Wars Episode 9 was only 509 million. I say
That
only,
is
but
so
you're like,
bad.
shit.
That's like how much Solo earned in total, didn't it? Because it costs like over 300 million.
But from Episode 7, The Force Awakens, to Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker, they basically just cut their earnings in half.
Mm-hmm.
And the biggest jump by far was between Force Awakens and TLJ.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that opened big, didn't it? Because the expectation was there.
Oh yeah,
Force
I
Awakens,
still
and then it
remember.
just went off a cliff after that.
All of us were like, because after finishing The Force Awakens, there was such a hope for what was to come in terms of all this new stuff, and it all just got executed immediately in the next film. It was like, oh, and then you sort of lose appreciation for those things anyway.
The blurb for The Last Jedi here. Rey develops her newly discovered abilities with the guidance of Luke Skywalker. He's like, no, she doesn't.
Nope.
That's a fucking lie.
There's that
Why are you lying to
interview
me?
where they ask Mark Hamill what was it like training Rey in the new film. This is before Last Jedi came out, and he was like, maybe I don't even train her. You don't know. I was just like, oh my god, because he doesn't.
The warning signs were there. Mark was trying to warn us of this.
Yeah, I think that if everyone had loved The Last Jedi, he probably would have been saying more. But there was so much shit getting slung at it anyway, he was probably like, okay, alright. It looks like people understand. I'm gonna bow
It's
out.
interesting to read the rest of the blurb here. It's like she gets trained under the guidance of Luke Skywalker, who is unsettled by the strength of her powers. Yep, that's what passes for character development. It's like she's too strong and too awesome for Luke to handle.
Do you remember? I just love pointing this out. He's like, I wasn't scared enough there, but I am now, or something like that. It's like, what do you mean? You tried to kill him in his sleep. It sounded like you were pretty afraid of his power. Do you remember that shit?
Fucking choke and mess this up.
It would have been so funny if he immediately tried to kill Rey after that training sequence. He was like, you're the next Kylo Ren.
Not again, Luke. It didn't work last time.
She becomes dark from that. We're like, oh.
Fucking commit, Luke.
What is... Sorry, I didn't realize that all of it was stupid. Meanwhile, the Resistance prepares for battle with the First Order. Like, no they don't. They're running away the whole time.
They're just preparing for battle.
Oh, okay.
You know, it starts off with the battle.
They're preparing for the Battle of Crate.
That's what the whole movie is doing, yeah. It makes total sense. Ugh.
Less impressive box office earnings for each installment of the series. With all that said, it'd be natural to have a somewhat pessimistic view for the future of the Star Wars franchise.
Yep.
With a warring fan base, a burned out audience, and sketchy corporate overlords, is Star Wars doomed? We're gonna go ahead and say, nah. And not just because we're reckless optimists. That's because the so-called problems that have and likely will continue to plague Star Wars aren't new at all. It could even be argued that our biggest complaints about Star Wars aren't flaws. In fact, they're firmly established aspects of epic storytelling. By epic, we not only mean the...
How do you even justify this? You're just like, flaws are good. They're in... That's just how it works. You're just like, what do you... Because I'm saying this, he hasn't made his argument yet, but I'm just like, oh man, this is going to be tough. It's going to be a tough one.
This isn't going to be another one of those other stories have flaws, therefore these flaws are fine idiots, is it?
I don't know if he's going to be like, you know, in these epics, there was lots of plot holes and character contradictions, so it's okay that everyone does
it. There were, like, especially in the there are things that make no sense, and people do just go to some weird places sometimes. No,
With
that
all
doesn't
these,
mean that these
with all these
stories-
classic stories, though, like these epic tales, like, is it not just a result of them the way they were recorded? Like they were quite often memorized verbatim and then like translated by
a lot,
traveling storytellers, and they would put their own embellishments on it. And what you end up with is a completely, hodgepodge of like different variations from each storyteller. But that's not what movies are.
That's why there's so many not only variations of the stories, but why so many of the epic tales of old are actually very, very similar. There's something, it was actually written by, I want to say it was Jung, but there are a few other people who have sort of expanded upon this idea. And the idea is that when stories get transmitted through generations, although they change, certain key beats stay the same. And so what you end up with is basically a story that has a sort of universality to it across time. So whereas all the little details may change and some of them may update, sort of the core parts, like sort of core story arcs for characters and whatnot, stays the same. And this speaks to a sort of human universal way of understanding things.
Like if you were teleported to an alien universe and you retold the story of Star Wars, the original trilogy, it would probably change a bunch of details, and then a kid that listened to you grew up and did the exact same thing in a different alien universe. It would keep changing, but most of the significant parts would probably be the same.
Yeah, it would still be, the downtrodden, shitty, stupid farm boy realizes he has a destiny, he grows up, he confronts his destiny, and then he becomes a hero. Like, you can change everything else about that, but those core elements will remain the same because they speak to people everywhere of all times.
Yeah, I think it's to some extent as well, there's a process of elimination there. Like if you do certain things with the character, then you start to remove the audience's appreciation for that character, and you reduce their likability. Like if your character, instead of being a downtrodden farm boy or whatever it might be, starts off as like an all-powerful king, people aren't going to empathize with that person because they're already at the top of the heap. All these things they have to do in order to build up your investment in the story and the characters. It is that kind of process of elimination. That's why you end up with that hero's journey, because it's kind of the slickest way to get that emotional response out of your viewer.
Also, Jay said, "I come soy," and is he trying to say that's what this person is? Because Jay, that's mean. Okay, very, very mean. I wanted to make sure I highlighted how he's possibly the worst of the EFAP people in terms of insult throwing. Do you agree, Rags? Because I think so.
He's not very. It's not very good.
Not very nice.
No, not very good. Not very.
Narrative poems like Beowulf and the Odyssey, but the other non-poem stories that resemble them and have a knack for being retold over and over again. First, let's get the similarities between the Skywalker saga and historical epics out of the way. Star Wars has captured our collective attention for more than 40 years, and there's every reason to assume that it will continue to be passed down from generation to generation, much like the tales of old.
But
is this going anywhere?
But
Jesus
the OT
Christ.
Was, let's just say for the sake of argument, given to my parents in the theater, and then when I came of the right age, I saw those very same films with minor remastering differences, assuming I didn't see the originals. And then if my kid grew up to the right age, I could then show them the DVD or Blu-ray of A New Hope. That isn't the same as like spanning generations of stories being told,
Yeah, you get the same story because it's in a hard, fast state. Like it can't change from what it is.
And if I don't know if he's going this way, but if he was arguing that like the sequel trilogy is the original retold, I'd just be like, nah, it's a sequel, but it's a really bad sequel. Like it's not this. It's not the OT again. They came close to trying that, but Rian Johnson wanted to go a different way. And then Rise of Skywalker, I don't even know what film you'd say it's copying outside of a couple of scenes. That plot line, man.
The story and its characters are so thoroughly integrated into pop culture that everyone knows what Darth Vader sounds like when he breathes, or what a lightsaber is, even if you've never seen a Star Wars movie. It's kind of like how, even if you've never read Homer or Virgil, you know what an Achilles heel or Trojan horse is. But that's not the only way the Skywalker saga mirrors ancient epics.
That's a very thin comparison. You could do that with loads of shit.
Yeah, you know what something is, therefore it's the same as these other things.
It's like I'm trying to think of like something obscure.
I guess he's trying to really say that, see, lightsabers are like in Vader's breathing, they're like the phrases Trojan horse and Achilles heel. One's
Weak.
just had a head start by a few years.
Just a few.
Yeah, but the problem is he's comparing pop culture elements to things which how do I want to phrase this? They what's the term for a phrase that actually sort of has a bigger meaning? Something, you know, like barking up the wrong tree. There is a name for that kind of phrase.
Idiom?
What metaphor?
Phrase?
I think it might be idiom. Yeah. He's comparing something which is just like a motif basically to something which is there to transmit an idea. Like you say something is a Trojan horse, there's a whole bigger thing to something which you just recognize as like they're not comparable.
Yeah, like a lightsaber versus like the equivalent of that would probably just be, I don't know, a bow and arrow from something like the older stories, as opposed to a lesson or an identifiable aspect through a selection of words that just came from that thing. It's a strange comparison, but even with that, you know, that's a very thin connection. You're actually way better than that.
Yeah, it's also you're comparing something which is basically stories which are told to people, again, because there's a degree of universality to it, and they have the point of telling them is to make people learn something. Like the point of the story of the Trojan horse is that, you know, things may not be what they appear, and sometimes what seems like it can be a good thing is actually a bad thing, because obviously the horse, it was a gift. It was like, oh, we're going to have peace, and here is this amazing sculpture, and it was full of people that killed everyone when they got out. So there's a big lesson there, as opposed to a lightsaber. It's like, okay, vwing, vwing,
Well, yeah, because Trojan
vwing.
horse, there are some
who
people out
learns
there.
anything?
There are some people who are out there that might not even know anything about Trojan horse beyond like its virus
Yeah,
comparison.
they don't know that it's from, you know, the Odyssey.
Yeah, they don't know the Odyssey story, but they know the meaning.
They might even be able to tell you what it means as a result of reading that story, but have no idea that story
Or
exists.
the Iliad. Sorry, not the Odyssey, the Iliad. But they don't know that it's about, you know, the Trojan War, and they don't know.
And
anything about
comparatively, if you ask someone and they do know what a lightsaber is, chances are they know what Star Wars is, and that it comes from that.
Mhm.
Comparatively, Achilles' heel, what story is that from? Most people will be like, the one with Achilles. They'll probably say Troy.
Yeah.
They'll probably say Troy, and then they'll be referencing the movie. If they reference anything at all, they might be like, I don't know, it just means a weakness, right? I don't know.
Well, even if it was from Troy, I mean, that still sort of is. That's the story.
It borrows classic epic storytelling techniques as well.
And I guess before we go forward, I'm wondering what aspect of the sequels is going to transcend time and
Actually, you know what? There is one. I've just thought of one. A more accurate comparison would be to say comparing the Trojan horse to the Holdo maneuver. You say Holdo maneuver, people would be like, suicidal run at something, 1 in a million chance to go through it. That would be a better similarity. It's fucking retarded, but that it would be more similar.
I actually think the other way that could actually end up being remembered is the same way as jumping the shark is. It's like, oh, they did a Holdo maneuver in this show. And you're like, what do you mean? So they fucked it all up.
Yeah, it's something really, really bad. But that would carry the same sort of weight, because it's, you say this one thing and you think of a big scenario and what you learned from it.
Skywalker Saga mirrors ancient epics. It borrows classic epic storytelling techniques as well. To understand how, let's look to scholars Barbara Graziosi and Johannes Halvold and their analysis of Homer's work. As you may know, Homer was the author long attributed to ancient Greek stories such as...
Before we go down this rabbit hole, remember, this is why Star Wars is actually good.
And why we should
This is where
apologize.
we have to go. We have to go to Greek philosophers to explain why Star Wars is actually good.
It's like, do you know how things you don't have to do this with? Good things. You just enjoy them. You have to... The rationalization doesn't get this bizarre. But alright, let's see where he goes.
the Odyssey and the Iliad. We once thought that Homer was a single person, a one-man story machine churning out culture-defining works. But now scholars mostly believe that Homer was in fact a pseudonym for a group of storytellers who built upon, strengthened, and further developed each other's work. Graziosi and Haubel developed a theory of resonance to describe the way these disparate storytellers worked together. They argue that in order to maintain a consistent world and a single authorial voice, the various storytellers employed specific narrative features in each new tale. These techniques included starting a story mid-scene, or repeating specific phrases like high-hearted men and swift-footed Achilles, or using precise formulas to introduce characters or speeches. Even the precise way a hero undressed was ritualized and repeated from story to story. The use of resonance told the audience that this story.
So, like, I'm wondering how much of this, because we're looking at when we look at a story like the Iliad, and when we look at combinations of stories that we've had for a long, long time, we have the benefit. It's kind of like how people say how music from like the 80s and stuff was way better than today. We have the filter of time to sort of screen out a lot of the really shitty, stupid ideas and a lot of the bad stuff about those old stories. So we only get a lot of the good stuff. And I'm wondering if at the time, how many of these authors and writers who knew about these stories pulled Ryan Johnson and completely destroyed characters in the narrative, and they rewrote things and did all this stuff, and people didn't like it, so it never got passed forwards and on and on and on, and all that old terrible shit that just got screened off and skimmed away from the story. Like, I think the sequel trilogy will be eventually sort of done to a lesser degree. But it'll just be, the prequels, the original trilogy, some of the other stuff surrounding Star Wars. That'll be the stuff that people remember and refer to. I mean, because when people talk about, the glory of Star Wars, they ain't talking about the Rise of Skywalker.
No, no one is.
Well, I think, I guess the point he's making here is like, when you pass it through that kind of filter of multiple authors and being retold multiple times and stuff, what you end up with is a kind of classic story with universal elements that everyone can relate to and stuff. That is your classic epic story. And that's what you ended up with something like the original trilogy. It's a story that deals with universal themes and ideas, universal characters, and it tells it in that classic epic way, which is fine. But then how you can't apply that then to the sequel trilogy, which doesn't have any of those elements. You don't have a hero that people can relate to. You don't have the ideas of family and connection and stuff in any meaningful way, except when they try and shoehorn it in.
You have these weird attempts at those ideas.
Well,
but
I'm curious
the execution's so bad, you almost like forget that was kind of what they were sort of trying to do.
Is he going to argue that like lightsabers and space battles and Jedi and Sith are the equivalents? Like, you see them throughout, they're the resonance. I'd be like, wow, that's superficial, isn't it?
I think as well, you can't escape how the sequel trilogy was made. The fact that you've got completely disconnected storytelling from different minds and different goals and objectives, and so what you end up with is three movies that feature the same characters that tell completely different stories. So it doesn't even function in the same way that the original trilogy did.
Guess we'll have to see.
I wonder if... Go ahead.
I was just going to say how he develops this, because I'm not 100% sure where he's going yet. Got the first half of the argument, I think. Like, establishing resonance with these old stories and how that matters to Star Wars right now.
We've got, I mean, we're all relatively young people, and you think about us doing this for decades potentially. You think, 20 years down the road, it is a very real possibility that we are going to be looking back at Star Wars. And I'm so curious what the fate of it will be in the future like. I mean, what will we remember? What will we forget? Will these things be treated like the new holiday special?
Need to appreciate that image. I love the smiley face.
Oh my goodness.
The little dick drawing. Jay just said we've already forgotten Solo, and it's just funny in this meme that Solo and Rogue One aren't even here as well.
Yeah, Solo. Every time someone mentions Solo, I'm like, oh fuck, yeah, that happened.
Yeah.
The thing is, I kind of forget about Rogue One as well. I'm just like, yeah, it killed a couple hours. It was a movie. Like, I never have any strong opinions about it one way or the other.
Yeah, the main movies really do dominate the discussion. Especially these last two. They've just been wild.
Story was part of the Homeric tradition and connected to past and future Homeric stories. At the same time, it implicitly promised the audience a specific experience. Like the Odyssey, Star Wars is a saga helmed by various authors, namely George Lucas but worse,
I don't like sand.
J.J. Abrams and Rian Johnson. And like the Odyssey, Star Wars used resonance to remain coherent. This is instantly apparent the moment a Star Wars film begins, and the bright yellow text scroll.
Really?
This just seems like, I don't know why you need two people to come up with this idea that everyone's like, well, yeah. If this shit takes place in the same universe, there's going to be a lot like this resonance stuff. Even if you go back to the Iliad and stuff like that, it's like, yeah, you can't all of a sudden introduce completely new otherworldly things to it that don't make any sense. Like, it's almost like resonance is just the concept of, yeah, storytelling is going to be consistent with itself to some degree.
Stuff you saw, you might see again. Oh, okay.
Oh.
What do you think is resonant with Toy Story and Rise of Skywalker? There's probably some stuff you could actually pick out. You'd be like, look, you know, like in a stupid video essay, you'd be like, the character protagonist enters into like really vague terms, and you compare two scenes. It's like one for one. You're like, oh my god! Like, you know, taken to the crazy degree, you get that Snowpiercer Willy Wonka video where they actually like nailed it. I just mean the drawing resonance between two movies, one of which is a sequel to the other. I'm just like, this won't be hard. It's going to be shit tons of things you can work with. Like, why is this a point? Also, I love this drawing.
Oh no. Teal deer.
And Joe, help me.
Joe.
Man, that came up fast.
Oh my goodness. Poor Joe.
Honey
Damn.
Silo 76.
76 silos.
Silo. We have massive silos where we keep our honey.
Poor Joe, he
75 other ones.
Joe just fell in, man. Damn. Alright.
Inexplicably through space while the iconic score plays.
Hey.
But this isn't resonance. This is a stylistic element. I wouldn't say this is resonant because it's not actually part of the story. It's a means of presentation. So it seems weird that he's including this in resonance.
Like, I don't know
Because
the
resonance,
motivation-
he specifically said it was story beats. This isn't story beats. This is just how you present something.
Yeah.
I'm just like do we even care about motivation for something like this? Like, you know why this stuff is here? It's like because they want to appeal. Like, this is all. It's like, oh my gosh, just like the originals. Oh
Yeah. It's like this is the Star Wars brand.
Like,
Don't change because it's the brand of Star
Oh
Wars.
my god, his
This is how you
videos
do
are
it.
like his videos.
well, this is kind of what I'm getting at. It's just, he's like seeing it as like, oh, look at these beats that are repeated in this wonderful epic, and it's just like they're there because it works on you and it makes you say stuff like that.
It's Revenant.
More examples of resonance are peppered throughout each film. These
we go.
range from scene transitions to character archetypes like the tragic hero.
Okay,
Oh,
scene
those
transi-
Luke
okay,
Sage
that's
mentor, you
resonance. All right.
These archetypes can't be. You can't say that these are archetypes that Star Wars resonated through Star Wars. It's like, no, this is just stories.
Yeah.
God,
These are story beats which exist across time because they are universally by all people everywhere. All cultures share stories with these character archetypes. These archetypes are not limited to Star Wars.
Well, sharing wisdom and redeeming yourself. These are like very, you know, they're tied to the human experience in many ways. Like it's not hard to figure out why these things work so well, is it? But like, be like, oh, Star Wars, they're the ones that have got this resonating. It's like, what do you mean? Like, fucking everything has this.
Or the Sage Mentor, to visual homages that deliberately evoke earlier.
Why do you think they did that?
Yes, because
Yeah,
you're gonna
so
make fucking videos
people
like this.
Did you guys know that there's 2 sons in The Last Jedi? Do you know how many sons there were in The New Hope? Do you know? Bet you don't.
Oh my god!
This is destined to be one of those like 50 things you missed about Rise of Skywalker.
films in the series. First, Lucas and now his successors deliberately used these resonances to establish Star Wars as a modern epic playing out right.
I don't think
Or you
that's...
could say that they just like ape what was done previously because they've got no fucking imagination and they're just relying on member berries to try and generate some kind of interest from the audience.
Literally that. Even on my first watch through, when he force pushed Rey up to a magnifying glass to show her fleet dying, to tell her there's no hope, I was like, you've just taken this scene from Return of the Jedi. Like, this isn't even...
Yeah.
There's
like,
there's
why do you even
such
have a magnifying glass right there? Like, what is that?
There's such a gulf between,
So I can see tiny
using
ships that I blew
similar
up.
thematic elements and just blatantly copying what's already been done. Like, there's no smart like approach to that. There's no kind of clever undertones to any. It's just like we can't think of anything else to do. We're just going to copy what we did before because that worked.
I'm picturing Snoke scooting his little throne all the way up to the magnifying glass.
He just does that thing where he grabs it on the sides and scoots his butt.
Like, sir, do you want some help? He's like, no, I can do this myself.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's good for me.
Sure, you don't want a monitor built into your throne or something? No, I'll go over to the fucking telescope.
And would you rather not have a high definition? No, I'm going to the looking.
And then you realize...
I'm old.
You realize that
telescope.
the transports are supposed to be cloaked, and he just sees them in his magnifying glass. Like, guys, there's some transports over there. Like,
oh
my
shit!
god!
You guys looked out the
That
window.
pesky decloaking scan again. Does
Yeah,
it
I
just make
mean,
them
they
pissed
can't
off?
run it all the time. They have battery limits, They can have 17 Star Destroyers, but they can't have a large battery. That's too much. Fucking stupid film.
Right before our eyes. In fact, Abrams relies heavily on resonance in The Force Awakens.
No shit. This is what I mean, like...
Yeah, they are beating you up on the head with it, aren't they? They do not want you to forget. They will not allow you to forget.
Remember Star Wars? Like, yes, I do.
I think we all do. I kind of wish I didn't.
Mhm.
And even more so in The Rise of Skywalker. The Force Awakens
These scenes are the same. These scenes are the same.
This
Yeah.
features
One of
the
them
same actor.
has Han Solo in it, and the other one does as well. So,
Yeah. These. Yeah.
Like, wait, what are the other similarities? They talk to each other. These characters.
There's acting in these scenes. In both scenes, there's acting.
Rey is convincing Han to help them, and Luke is convincing Han to save Leia. It's the same thing.
Yeah. They're both on spaceships.
Chewie is around in this room, both rooms. Finn is like C-3PO. Like, okay.
shoot
Finn
close
is
to
just
A New
like
Hope.
C-3PO.
Both Luke and Rey are orphans from a desert planet. Both the
You say
Yeah,
that,
man.
You say this like we
That's
didn't
resonant.
realize. Like, oh yeah, what a crazy thing that they did. That's kind of like the original. These
No,
were all-
that's clever resonance.
These were all things that the film got fucking blasted for. Like, I don't understand how you're highlighting them as like, this is really cool, interesting resonance.
Because when he says the word resonance, it makes it sound better than
Copied.
they hit copy paste.
Yeah,
Death
this
Star-
isn't resonance. They're just copying shit.
Just because you're using a big word to describe it, that doesn't mean it's suddenly smart.
You call your film Starfights, and it's the same thing. You're like, it's resonance. Shut up. I'm resonating. This is genius. You don't understand.
and Starkiller Base are man-made planet destroyers, and both the Empire and the First Order are wannabe space fascists. Similarly, the rise of
What do you mean wannabe?
Like, they actually are.
I was gonna say, weren't they both very successful? Well, that's a whole conversation. How successful the First Order? It's like, despite their immense power and influence, they managed to fuck it up 3 times.
But still get to blow up 6 planets.
Of course.
So it's a really, like, you have no idea what their competence level is. It just depends on whatever they need to do.
Vader would be so disappointed if he was alive, and he was evil. He'd be like, "This sort of fucking suck. You need like someone."
We can't
anyone."
Yeah,
rule
like,
over
how-
the planet if you blow it up.
You're thinking about it, how is
senior
Hux even in
officers would he have
charge?
to kill?
Like, Hux is so young to be in charge, you know?
Well, we
Well,
were
he
talking
was
about this
super
before. Like,
competent.
Super competent.
He's super good at his job.
Because you've got like a guy like General Pride who seems a little bit better at what he does and a bit more switched on. Like, why was he not just in charge to begin with? Like, how's someone so young being promoted over him?
Well, like I remember reading in one of his wiki pages that his dad was like a really respected First Order general, and I think that's what got him his position. And I saw that they made like a mock-up image because his dad is Brendan Gleeson in real life, and I was like, oh man, I could really go for like a Brendan Gleeson character, him playing a character in the First Order who's super competent and threatening. And then I was just thinking about how, like, what if Star Wars was good? What if, like,
what if Star Wars
so
was
many
good?
things would be different. Yeah, like what was Snoke's justification for having Hux around? It's just like, well, he's a useful idiot.
Why not just have a useful smart person?
Yeah, like have a useful idiot as like your personal assistant or something,
Well, no,
not as the
like-
commander of all your military forces. That's just going to
about-
invite disaster.
Alternatively, instead of a useful idiot, a useful genius.
What I said.
Did you?
Yeah, I said a useful smart person.
Oh.
Mine was less eloquent.
Well,
I will give you that.
I'm glad we're on the same page.
Yeah, it's
Our brains have resonance.
Well, this is the thing. This is the thing I always want to highlight. Whenever someone says plot holes and making sense and logic doesn't matter, and it's like, well, what about when the film is clearly trying to explain things to you? Does it matter then? Should you just ignore any explanation? Because, like, why have such an idiot on your team? Like, Rian Johnson thought about that, and he was like, right, I'm gonna have Snoke say this to explain it. And it's like, but that doesn't explain it. Then it's like, who cares? It's like, well, you do. You just gave us an...
You cared enough to start that. He's like, you started it.
Exactly.
You thought it was worthy of a shitty explanation, but we just pointed out your explanation was really shitty. That just raises more questions.
It's like when Hux is on the bridge of his on the supremacy and they're chasing the rebel fleet. And it's like, what is the point of all of this if we can't destroy 3 little ships? It's like, yeah, good fucking question.
It makes
Yeah,
a dig.
what's
It
up
makes
with that?
it makes a dig sound. It's like, oh my god, he's cinema. What's going on?
Both feature a young Jedi training with a dying mentor.
So if we're going that broad, both feature a young
Man.
Jedi training with a dying mentor. It's like, wow. You probably get a dying mentor. That's nice and vague, isn't it? In terms of like,
Dying mentor.
they're not, they're alive, but they are going to die. And you're like, so
They're dying
so everyone.
very slowly of old age.
it's like Anakin is a young Jedi training with a dying mentor. That is Obi-Wan. Like he's not going to die anytime soon, but he's dying. It's all resonance.
Both begin with the rebels struggling after a crushing defeat.
Both begin after a
What?
I mean, are they talking about?
No.
So the beginning of TROS is the rebels recovering from a defeat that was in TLJ,
If only they'd saved what they loved.
but it was like a year later. I don't know. It seemed like they got forces out of nowhere. I don't know. Like that's a weird.
They did just seem to start off by saying, "Oh, we have like an army now."
Yeah.
The Rise of Skywalker's military situation is fucked completely. Like, it's so bizarre, because in The Last Jedi, they're like, oh, we sent out this communication and no one came to help us. Okay. But then in the next film, General Pride specifically says about the Final Order, this is going to increase our power 10,000-fold. And somehow Lando goes and universe to charge face first into that.
Yeah. Let's just play it.
Somehow.
Let's just play it out, right? So you come to me, Rags, and Drinker. Let's just say we're 3 separate alien factions, and you're like, I need help to take out the Final Order. And we're like, what's that? It's this huge army of like 1,000 Star Destroyers that all have Death Star technology, but they're all on one planet. If we all go there now, we can destroy them because they don't have shields and they don't know how to go up. Just go with me. I'd be like, don't they still have like shit tons of weaponry? Yes.
Yes, they do. Don't think about it. Please just come with me. I'm the cool
Don't
boy.
worry, our ships are
You
too
can trust
small for
me.
your cannons.
And how could you even? No, it just wouldn't have. You need to do that over like 3 movies, like justifying why all of the planets would come with you. And what they do is the opposite. They establish that the planets don't want to help the rebellion at all, or the resistance, whatever. So we just sit here confused. We're like,
Yeah, and then suddenly the enemy is 10,000 more powerful, and everyone's like, well, you know what? Time to go kick some ass.
well, when you turn up to that
You never
area,
get a sense of where, what the First Order's real capabilities are, either. Like, how do they have like? Do they just have 10 Star Destroyers of their own left, or do they have 1,000? You know, it's never explained.
I mean,
But then
the
you get into-
Admiral was unironically defeated by horses. He was like, "Jam their speeders," and it's like they're not using speeders. And he's like, "My God, what can we do against horses?"
If only there was something that we
If we
could
go-
do at like a range to disable these organic things running
Disable
around.
the horses. Jam
Disable
the
horses with our blasters.
If only we could flip the ship slightly to one side and they would just all slide off because they're fucking horses and the hull of the ship is pretty much smooth.
Well, you know, they
Amazing.
could just do an even simpler thing. Go up. There is no atmosphere up.
There's so many things.
Just go up and watch the horses start spasming out as they can't fucking breathe.
But even
Oh, look,
then,
we win.
Even you know, if you didn't mind too much about your ship getting damaged, you could just have a couple of TIE fighters come in and strafe them, and it's like, okay, you're gonna
Yeah.
damage the hull a bit, but you're gonna kill them all.
it would be funny if he said disable the horses, and he was like, "What do you mean?" He just hands him a blaster, like, just fucking kill them. They're horses.
Just
Oh.
open the window, lean out, and start shooting.
They probably have like little windows they could open up.
No, they don't have windows because they don't know which way is up. Come on, Rags.
Oh yeah, that's right. They have.
Yeah, how
I don't
shit
know.
a day are these guys having? It's like we don't know which way is up. We've got no shields. We're under attack by space horses.
It's almost talking about idioms earlier. Like when you say like, "Oh, he doesn't even know which way is up." Like the implication someone's like lost their mind or something. It's like they literally do not know which way is up. That's where we're at. I can't believe
guys,
they did that.
Speaking of resonance, do you remember that time in The Last Jedi where someone couldn't tell which way was up? Or in A New Hope, where someone couldn't tell which way was up? You remember that?
It was when Vader was looking for Luke because he was hidden. It was like, damn, where is Luke? Which way is up? That's what it was.
Yeah.
And, yep, beautiful.
And both feature a Palpatine-concocted showdown between good and evil. Detractors might dismiss this as fan service or, at best, an over-reliance on nostalgia-driven narrative. But the way Abrams mirrors Lucas actually forges crucial
copy.
thematic and structural links between
Thematic and structural links.
Oh, I've got to hear this explanation.
Oh, man.
I mean, yeah, he copied him.
This is what I call grasping at straws. Desperate
I
straws,
want you-
labeled themes and structure.
If you ever get anyone in the chat, if you ever like plagiarize anything, just give them this video and convince them that this is actually resonance. You're
I mean,
just
actually-
you're just mirroring the themes and the letters.
You know
of
what'd be
something
funny?
else.
Well, you know, if I get a copyright strike from YouTube in future, I'm just going to reply with like as my, you know, plea. I was just like, well, it's resonance. So
Yeah, learn about
Yeah.
resonance. Don't you
forget
know that
fair
these
use, it's just
philosophers?
resonance.
Maybe this
said
video
this
would actually
thing.
be like entertaining to watch, you know, like Quinton and Jenny Nichols and whoever like responding to it EFAP style, just to see them get frustrated at this. Because who's gonna like this argument? Nobody. Nobody likes every Star Wars film, as far as I can tell. Like, there's no prominent critics that I know that enjoy all of them. They usually pick a selection, right? So, if this guy's making an argument for how all of it's great, it's just like, who are you appealing to? It's gonna be maybe like one guy who's like, yeah, Star Wars. That guy, Eric Butts, he probably likes all of them, right?
I would say, yeah. I can't imagine that he just the way that he claps like a fucking seal at anything Star Wars. There's no way that he doesn't adore them all. He'll find a way. That's the thing. He will find a way to love them all.
It must be nice to have, like, that level of experience with Star Wars media, no matter what. Like, nice in terms of the experience, but then also, like, I don't know, get ashamed of yourself. Like, what have I become?
I would be
'Cause we're
ashamed of
all-
myself, but
We're all
I don't think.
cynical assholes.
Yeah, not him.
I think we're pretty reasonable, actually, on
We're
the cynical
Just
level,
bad
but-
people, really.
Well, naturally.
the two trilogies. Abrams actually spoke to this during the promotion for The Force Awakens, stating,
Whoa.
"We very consciously tried to borrow familiar beats."
What?
Yeah, you fucking just copied it.
Copied it.
You just copied it, man. Look, everyone's just running in circles and tap dancing around it. It's like you just fucking copied it.
We all know. It's like, it's not a
this
secret.
shit.
And like, he's like, yeah, you know, there was a conscious effort to borrow familiar beats.
So the rest of the movie could hang on something that we knew was Star Wars. Resonance also
Well, yeah, of course it was Star Wars. It was like the movie Star Wars. You just
You might as
copied
well
the
have
movie
said,
Star
like,
Wars.
The rest of the movie could hang on something we knew was
Oh.
going to make money.
I guess I should clarify for chat. Yeah, when we say copy, we're not actually saying it's a good copy.
Yeah.
Very bad copy. It's one of those photocopies
Yeah, it's
that
like-
comes out all broken and fucked up. Like, someone sat on the photocopier while putting Star Wars there, so their ass got, like, imprinted on top of it. Got, like, an ass copy. That's kind of where I'm getting at.
explains Abrams' strategic repetition of everything from central themes to incidental dialogue.
I got a bad feeling about this.
I got a bad feeling about
Whoa!
Wow, my
Oh,
God.
he used memes. Oh,
Anakin says it
Amazing.
too in the prequels. Whoa.
But it doesn't account for the second complaint lodged by Star Wars fans.
Okay.
Why so many inconsistencies? Well, for that, let's jump forward in time to medieval England and visit a
Why so many inconsistencies? Oh shit, we had medieval England.
Let's go, medieval England. Go now, go.
Oh, merry man.
I like it because like you kind of follow the argument for that one or whatever, and you're like, okay, so explain the inconsistencies one. He's like, right, I need to tell you about medieval England. You're like, do you though? That
This is such a shitty comparison. It's like, let's compare the storytelling techniques of ancient Greece or wherever with stories that were basically passed down from generation to generation verbally and totally changed, and there was no way to like produce a unified version of anything with, you know, early 21st century Hollywood cinema where you've got all of the technology you could ever need at your disposal to create like the, you know, the perfect streamlined story. You've got like modern writing techniques, you've got everything you could possibly need. How are these two things in any way related? Like, obviously there's going to be inconsistencies for stories that were made up 2,000 years ago. You don't have the same excuse now because you have logic and reason.
And also because these stories are like years apart from one another, and it's the same exact people working on them.
this is not comparable, but fine, let's let him compare it.
Because and also, well, I guess it might pop up later, so we'll just sit on that. Let's keep that in the pocket.
very different epic. Arthurian legend, or Arthuriana, is what we call the total narrative surrounding King Arthur and his fabled Knights of the Round Table. Arthuriana is a particularly helpful epic for us because we can largely
I don't recognize any of these fucking Arthur movies.
King Arthur with Clive Owen. I know that one. This is the one from this is new, right?
This is the Guy Ritchie one, yeah.
This one I've heard nobody say this is good.
It's not.
I can't
Normally
wait to see
Guy
it
Ritchie is
eventually.
pretty reliable, but like he should not be doing like medieval epics.
Yeah, it's a weird
I need
weird
to see
choice.
Excalibur again. And the Sword and the Stone.
That'll be getting remade soon enough, I would imagine.
Oh fuck! Really?
Why not?
Probably.
Why not?
Oh, I hope not.
track its development across the centuries. And interestingly enough, it has a lot in
What
common
the
with the development
fuck?
Ooh, that looks ugly.
What the fuck is that?
Yeah, it's bad.
That looks terrible.
Let's have a look see at that again.
for us because we can largely track its development across the centuries. And interestingly enough, it has a lot in common with the development and evolution of Star Wars. The
just
first
knew-
sustained depiction of the King Arthur legend appeared in the 12th century when Geoffrey of Monmouth penned The History of the Kings of Britain. For this, Jeff rounded up various fables and presented them as historical facts. The TLDR is, Arthur gets a throne and
He knew you were watching this.
You,
Knew.
he's
You
yeah, the guy-
fucking what, mate? You wanna fucking throw down, do you, son?
Oh my god.
King
I'll
of Tyre,
fucking bash you in the
Guinevere,
gabba,
fights
mate.
a whole bunch of Saxons and chats it up with a wizard named Merlin. Notice the glaring lack of magical swords, circular tables, heroic knights, and extramarital tryst. Not long after, a rogue poet added the Round Table to Arthur's story. In this way, the first Arthurian canon was essentially set. Think of this initial Arthurian canon called the Matter of Britain as
So it's already completely different Star Wars. Cool. Like this is not the same
Mhm.
thing whatsoever. So some guy wrote it, and then some other guy added a bunch of random shit. And if you're gonna try and equate that to George Lucas and then Rian Johnson and JJ, I'll just be like, it doesn't work the same way because I don't think the Bard guy was making a sequel. He was just changing, almost adapting it and adding his own shit. Which, by the way,
Yeah, we see
JJ
this
can do.
all the time.
If
Yeah,
JJ wants to go and do that, he can. Probably will do. They probably will remake the original trilogy eventually, and it's going to be devastating, but whatever. What are you going to do? But that'll be for
the
then.
audacity. They
That'll
will
be for
though.
then.
They absolutely will. But
As
yeah,
Lucas-
a lot of this I can already. It's just when those people were writing these stories, it was almost like their version of it. But when JJ talks about my version of Star Wars, or Ryan talks about my vision of Star Wars, they're not using it in the same sense because these are direct sequels with the exact same characters and the exact same timeline that it's happening chronologically. It's the exact same story specifically.
I think
It's not like this is my take on an old story.
the way to nail this would be like the nature of a sequel is that it relies on you having seen the one before it in order to create its payoffs. As in, if you watch Empire on its own, you'll be like confused for a lot of it. If you watch Return of the Jedi on its own, you'll probably be super confused. Though I think a lot of people actually did see Return of the Jedi on its own. I remember seeing a couple of people in chat saying that when we covered it before. But the point is that sequels rely on the predecessor or prequel, whatever, being in stone. It's like, those things happened, therefore I can make and say these things because you have that in your head already. And so if you counter those things, you've just like become antithetical to the entire point of your position in the timeline as a sequel. Like, you're just fucking it up. Because and that's the difference between, like, if J.J. Abrams made a fucking TV show called Star Wars, and it was the first 3 episodes were A New Hope, and they're all an hour long or whatever, or 40 minutes, whatever. And it's a remake. He could probably change some stuff. It wouldn't count as a contradiction. Like if Obi-Wan doesn't die to Vader in the Death Star, maybe he stays alive until the second film or something. He wants to experiment changing the story that way. We wouldn't say he can't be alive there and dead in the original version if it's an adaptation. It's like changes, and we could talk about whether or not they're good and bad and stuff. Which is that's what seems to be happening with the example of Arthurian stories. Just next guy. What we were saying before about the guy traveling to different universes, retelling the story of Star Wars. It would happen that way.
Yeah, because it's not like it takes place for Star Wars. It takes place in a universe where all kinds of different things are happening and everything. But with these Arthurian stories, there is a very set Arthur as a child. There is Arthur growing up. There is him as king. There is a quest for the Grail. There's going off to Avalon. There's, there are specific characters that are part of it. Mordred and Agravain and all these guys. You can't really. You could keep it going on and on and on. But no one really does that. No one takes the Arthurian stories and is like, this is in the same universe as the Arthurian legend, but it's this random other character who's... People don't do that with these stories. It's almost like it wasn't really made for it in the way that Star Wars was. They just retell the story, picking and choosing what aspects they really like. And then someone else does the same thing, and someone else does the same thing. But each one's totally independent of the other.
Era Star Wars. Both were chiefly guided by one person who crafted a unified canon, though in Monmouth's case he synthesized quite a bit of folksy miscellanea. Disney even referred to the Lucas era movies as immovable objects when they acquired Lucasfilm. But obviously,
So much for that.
Yeah, well, that's clearly a fucking lie now, isn't it?
Apparently they hit an unstoppable force in that case.
Everything
Where
exploded.
was the link between the Arthurian legend to this? Did I miss it?
I think he's doing it now.
the Skywalker saga didn't end with Lucas, and Arthuriana was just getting started with Jeff. Over time, new storytellers added more and more to the Arthurian soup, their tales spreading organically and influencing one another.
Yeah, but those
more
were their
popular
own
any-
personal adaptations of the same core story.
Yeah.
They're not
Specific
sequels,
to
are
one
they?
another.
Yeah, they're not a direct sequel. It's like all of the original stuff for King Arthur is very, very sparse. It comes from the 4 branches of the Mabinogion, which actually came before the text which he's talking about, which I think is the one called the Matter of Britain. Arthur in the Mabinogion is quite sparingly used. You can look at even things like the story of the Holy Grail. There are stories of the Holy Grail. The Holy Grail itself actually comes from pre-Christian Celtic stories, and there's a variety of those, most of them coming from Wales. The original telling, as far as I'm aware, was that the Holy Grail was actually just stone, and then the Grail became related to a cauldron, which was a cauldron which, if you put a dead man back inside it, he would come back out alive, and that was the story from Bran the Blessed, I believe. Later on, the Grail then became something to do with the story of the Fisher King, or the Wounded King, which is ultimately a pre-Christian fertility story about a king who gets a wound. It's always a wound in his thigh, and it's always caused by a lance, and sometimes the lance is bleeding perpetually as a result, and sometimes it was bleeding before that because it was to do with fertility and infidelity. And then later on, the story of the Grail evolved even further to be something which captured the blood of Christ because it got mingled in with the bleeding from the Fisher King or the Wounded King story, and then it became the cup of Christ, which he used at the Last Supper because it's you drink this and it becomes my blood. That all happened over about 400 or 500 years. It's the same story, but there's so many different versions of it. Oh, I'm sorry. Do I know Arthurian legend better than the author of this? Whoops.
I feel like copyright kind of kills this whole argument too. It's like, why do you think there's so many versions of King Arthur? It's like, oh, probably because they didn't have a patent on the story when it came out to prevent people from making loads of them. Like, if they did right now, if Star Wars didn't have copyright, then people would just be... People are making shit tons of fan fictions. The EU was a thing until they got axed. Like, we'd have all kinds of different versions, remakes, adaptations, and sequels. It would all be floating around all over the place, and there's a reason why we categorize them all differently. Just like Arthurian, different variations, you'd be able to actually identify exactly what it is. Like, this is a sequel because I want to explore what happened to King Arthur in his later years. And you're like, oh, okay, cool. So, which of the stories have you chosen to make it a sequel to? And, they could either say, like, oh, this one specifically by this guy, or they could be like, oh, it's just sort of, I'll try and imply in my story the history that I'm going with. Mostly a shared understanding of what it is. Like, every time there will be a way to categorize it. You don't just go, nah, it's just like Star Wars. Rian Johnson and JJ are the new writers. Lucas was the old one. Makes sense. Also, there's no such thing as a contradiction at this point, because there's just...
Exactly. This is them saying, oh yeah, well, instead of this happening, what if this happened? Instead of that happening, what if this happened?
Also, this doesn't account for inconsistencies within their own stories, as in... Rise of Skywalker can contradict the OT according to this retarded set of rules, but it can't contradict itself, right? As in, for example, Rey being able to detect Chewie, like, miles away in space, but she can't detect him when he's, like, a half mile away from her on the same place. Remember that? There's just a standard contradiction.
These Arthurian stories don't contradict one another because they're not the same story.
Exactly. But even if we were to take his argument as valid, which it's not, it wouldn't be able to account for inconsistencies within the specific individual stories, right? This argument
he hasn't answered the question that he's posed for inconsistencies. He's just brought up something else that's completely different in almost every aspect.
And what a crappy standard as well. It's like, yeah, you can take stuff from the originals to use as rules you'll be banking on, but then you can also break them whenever you want, because fuck it.
Because Residence is...
The new addition to the legend seemed, the more it was incorporated into subsequent tales. The best example of this was Chrétien de Troyes' introduction of the Holy Grail and the cuckolding Lancelot. In this way, a democratic process of storytelling crafted an updated Arthurian legend.
Democratic? That's not democratic. That's actually the opposite.
Doing their own thing as they go.
Yeah, this isn't a democracy at all. This is people just deciding completely arbitrarily that they're going to make their own version of the story, which is fine, but that's not a democratic way to make a story. They didn't all come together and decide on what the story would be agreed upon. That actually kind of makes it sound like a conspiracy.
Reasons for their additions to the canon. Notably, de Troyes geared his work towards the taste of the French court, which fancied itself quite chivalrous. Thus, de Troyes' stories upheld good knightly virtues like courtly love. Authors like de Troyes and Thomas Mallory
they all upheld that virtue. They all did. The Celtic stories did that as well, the original ones. Like one of the stories of, I think it was, what's his name? Pwyrrell, I think it was the story of Pwyrrell, where he goes into the other world, Anwin. He goes there, he exchanges places with the king of the place, and the condition is something like, you can become the king of my court, you only have to go there in order to defeat my enemy. And they do that, and the king from the fairyland eventually comes back and is like, you slept chastely with my wife. In other words, you didn't fuck my wife when you were impersonating me. Therefore, I'm going to give you the spoils of Amwyn. You're going to get a load of gifts from this, which is obviously, a load of stuff from the other world. So it's all enchanted, amazing stuff.
I wish people would give
that
me
story
gifts for not sleeping
predates
with their wives.
I know, it'd be great, wouldn't it? But that predates this guy's writing. So the concept of chastity is in all of these stories anyway.
But if we want to apply this theory then to what we have in current day, is by this rationale, then you could have like different versions of the Star Wars movies released in different parts of the world as well to suit differing tastes.
Yeah. I would say that the applicable version is something like Lovecraft today. Loads of different people doing all kinds of stories. The similar resonance would be horrifying creatures from a different world, or a world that we can't quite comprehend, ritualistic stuff, cults, elements of like magic or black magic maybe. I'm not sure what kind of categorization you probably put it in. Obviously the eldritch influence, and then mystery, existential horror. All these things are going to be typically in a Lovecraft story, but they could be completely different and contradictive. Because, guess what? The fucking copyright ran out on those things, so it's all over the place, and everyone's got all kinds of stories. It seems to be that would be the key element to all of this, to be honest with you.
The resulting canon in complete coherent manuscripts that were published widely. Again, this mirrors the evolution of the Star Wars canon and the way
Except
it's
it doesn't at all.
Though Lucas was historically hands-off with the Star Wars extended universe that sprang up after the original trilogy, he did start to incorporate some of these new elements into the prequels. For example, Ayla Secura.
I'm curious. I thought one of the things about the extended universe is that they were compatible with all the Star Wars movies.
I think so, yeah, from what I know. That's
And
part of what
they
people loved
weren't-
about him.
Yeah, and they weren't retellings of the same story. They were additions to the original story that acted parallel to them, that existed alongside them.
You know what's funny? The novelization that we were talking about at the beginning of the stream of Rise of Skywalker is almost a retelling because it's trying to fill holes while saying the same storyline. Which is funny considering everything he's been talking about. It's like, it's not a contradiction, it's just a different version. It's like, what about a different version that's sole purpose is to unfuck the contradictions? Like, they make a book specifically for that.
We could then make a movie of the book.
Yeah, adapt the book that was an adaptation of the movie, I don't know. Christ.
That's Disney's new strategy, is they make a shitty movie, and then they have somebody write a book that fixes all the problems, and then they make another movie based on that book.
This is like iterative storytelling. We'll just keep making it until we get the perfect movie.
And
Disney has
somehow they
concocted
keep
the perfect film.
They keep making it worse, though. They go in the opposite direction.
Here's 2347. Disney has scientifically created the perfect story. Attendance is mandatory.
They keep going left, right, up, down, all different directions from the OT, and when they conclude at version 9,643,102, it's just the OT. They're like, yeah, I don't know.
They got it right.
It's still it's in some underground super vault on the Disney planet, in the core, hidden away. This is it, the perfect story.
We've done
They're
it.
coming. Do not let them. The Amazonians, they're coming. They cannot have it. Hide it away.
Disnoids. That'll be the race at that
The
point.
Apologetics.
The Disnoids protect
The Disnoids.
the original story, the best story.
Disnoids.
It could work. It could work.
Next to Song of the South.
As the world progresses on, that film becomes progressive somehow. It all flips.
We had it this whole
Protected.
time. We just were too blinded to see it.
After the original trilogy, he did start
Can we call Disney shills Disnoids?
Disnoids. Yes, please.
to incorporate some of these new elements into the prequels. For example, Aayla Secura, Coruscant, and Dooku's curved lightsaber hilt were all developed by different authors, but Lucas was a fan.
So they're not retellings in any way.
He's just describing
They
canon
exist
versus
with it.
non-canon now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm walking down the street, or halfway through having made my story, and some guy's like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if a giant snake monster attacked me on the street right now? And I'm like, that could be kind of an interesting thing to do
Oh
in my
my
story.
god,
I'm
did
like,
you
"Oh."
write King Arthur?
Exactly. And then I'd be like, I put that in my story, and someone goes, you see, that's like an Arthurian legend. Some guy told you about it, and you put it, it's like, no, stop, okay? Just because Lucas read something in the EU that he liked, and then he was like, I'm gonna put that in my wasn't he okay with the expanded universe as well? Like,
As far as I know, he was
I think
kind
he
of
had,
like ambivalent towards it.
it was...
Yeah, he spoke highly of it when he was doing that interview with Kathleen Kennedy, and he's like, I'm handing all this stuff over to you that's like treasure trove of stories and stuff, and she's like, yeah, it's good in
Instantly takes him to the back room.
Yeah.
He's got so broad now that, like, I'm just sitting at my desk writing a story and I see, like, a bug crawling around. I'm like, I'm gonna make a creature based after that. And he's like, you see? Just like an Arthurian legend. Like, no. People... Categorization is very important, okay? Just because you've taken many influences in creating what is considered the mainline story, canon, sequels, the timeline, a linear timeline of events, doesn't then mean that's the exact same process as someone telling the same story but over many generations with different tellers going off of memory or books that they rewrite. Like, it's a completely different process. And how does this mean that inconsistencies don't matter? Like, what... I'm waiting for that dot to connect.
Permission adopted them. And just like post-Jeff King Arthur storytellers, die-hard franchise geeks Abrams and Johnson creatively expanded the canon.
Expanded the canon. That's what they call it.
Creatively expanded the canon. Sure. That's what they did. They creatively expanded the canon.
That description, though. I don't know if it was a very generous one. I'm going to go ahead and guess they thought that the sequel trilogy was good.
Whereas Detroit imbued Arthuriana with courtly love, Abrams and Johnson made contributions rooted in their individual philosophies about Star Wars.
Precisely the problem. They made their own movies. They didn't care what came before.
Yeah, they made their own versions, but they like lamented the fact they had to be sequels almost.
Yeah, it's like putting an adaptation into the sequel. It's like, what are you doing? It's like, this is not what you put this. It's like, I don't know. I just wanted to do this. Like, what the fuck? It's like the sequel to Raimi's Spider-Man 1 is Far From Home. You'd be like, I don't see the connecting tissue. Like, I'm very confused.
Of course, they have very different philosophies. Abrams is all about evoking that warm, fuzzy feeling that we all got when we watched our first Star Wars film. Johnson, on the other hand, seems more inclined to explore the complexities of both the characters and the universe.
No, he doesn't.
He wants
No.
There was no complexity there.
If that's what you call complexity, yeah, I guess. All right.
Complexity, some people can be good and bad, and sometimes good and bad is just a point of view.
That was incredible.
Almost like that
scene.
thing that I told you was true from a
Wow.
certain point of view.
The thing that you learned when you were 8 years old? Yeah. Ooh. Yeah.
As soon as you develop a theory of mind, begin to understand that other people also have their own experiences in the same way that you do.
It's
Holy
called
shit,
nostalgia.
no one ever
you
thought of this before.
Disnoid.
It's called
It's
resonance.
Yeah, you're right about that, though. It's just like they're using that word. It's the nicest way you can put it for copy and pasting horribly. Such an easy on the ears.
You say it's like it's just the sort of thing. It's like me, actual film student, resonance. You, a pivs, just a little pleb over there. Remember? It's the same thing.
I feel like resonance is just another word for like it's almost like it's just your style. Something is your style because it's something that you do repeatedly to a degree. Everything
how he's
from the
using it,
text
yeah.
you use to the music that you use to the transitions that you use, that's your style. That's what it makes it your style because it's something that you do that's repeatable and recognizable. They're just taking something's style and saying it's resonant because it does
It's strange
stuff it
as
did
well.
before, but more.
Because he's almost used. So like how we typically use the word resonates, we're usually talking about the effect something has on the person, right? It's like, how does that resonate with you? That sort of thing. And he's like, to resonate through It's like the ripple effect through these films, and it's almost like a subconscious thing that connects them all. And it's like, it's really not, though. Clearly a part of these directors' choices. Like, these aren't accidents whatsoever. Even as that quote from J.J. Abrams being like, yeah, you know what we had to do. You know. And I just think that it's the nicest possible way to describe that. I'm trying to think of like an example. It's like if you're like, oh my god, that person died, you'd be like, no, they have simply ceased.
De-resonated.
They've de-resonated.
Surprise us as much as that time Vader dropped the old paternity bomb on Luke.
Thank God he played the clip, dude.
Oh, he said the thing.
I was about to ask you guys what is he referring to when there was a big moment in Empire with Luke and Vader, because I was like,
Darth
fucking,
Vader,
No, I drew a
you
blank.
are the father.
Imagine like Luke goes, "You told me you killed him," and he goes, "No," and then Luke interrupts and he goes, "You're my dad, I know." He's like,
Wow, you just gonna say it like, oh, okay.
like, you knew? And he's like, yeah, Obi-Wan told me. Like, oh, jeez.
Said you're really good friends.
Oh, okay.
Like,
so
he
you
said
want to
that
like
about me?
You've been attacking me this whole time, and you're cool with that, even though.
What else did he say about me while I was gone?
Does he talk about me a lot? He's like, you were corrupted.
say
He's like,
nice things
oh, I was corrupted,
about
was I?
dinner,
Okay.
Which is always.
Did he tell you about that time that I choked my wife? What? Nothing.
No, she was into it. It's what it's, I mean your mother. Fuck.
Did he mention younglings? No? Okay. I'm glad about that, I guess.
So, Luke, now that we're done here, you want to like go get some tacos or something?
It's like, no, I still don't like you. And he's like,
Tacos.
oh.
You blew up
Why?
a planet last movie. He was like, yeah, I
That wasn't really me, that was Tarkin.
I was there. But
Like, you could have stopped it. He's like, no, not really.
I really don't know if I could have actually.
Like, yeah, I could have maybe put my lightsaber. I don't know. It's not confirmed.
Other end shit.
It's ultimately an issue of heart versus head.
Oh, why are they versus?
Fucking tell me about it.
Why are those things they don't have to be opposed to each other? If anything, they like in real life they work best when they're combined.
Yeah. I'm curious, like, don't make the head the villain. Please don't do that. We've had this before in so many different ways. Do you remember, like, one of the earlier EFAPs where someone made Logic the bad guy? We were like, don't do it. Don't do it. Logic shouldn't be the bad guy. It's gonna be hard to explain that logically.
And
You guys
each
know how
interpretation
thinking is evil.
is as valid or invalid as the other. But combine them into one trilogy, and you get a series of conflicting interpretations and clashing ideologies. You can even sense a sort of jostling for power from film to film.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a reason for that, mate. There's no fucking
Could you
plan.
sense
We
that?
all
Is that
know
something
why.
you picked up?
In particular, the last two films take previous plots and characters and either ignore, redirect, or straight up bisect them. Arguably, this worked to the detriment of the
Yes,
trilogy
it did.
as a whole.
I like how he said arguably.
Yeah.
There's an
Yes,
argument
no,
to
it's
be
not, it's
made.
not arguably. It did. It just did.
With this in mind, let's take a look at where Arthuriana and Star Wars start to diverge.
Oh,
And what makes
What
Where
do
they
you
start to
mean
diverge.
start to diverge?
Start today. What you mean? Like apart from every?
the year is 1123 AD.
You see, up to this
The
point,
stories
both the Arthurian legend and Star Wars were pretty much the same thing. But let's look at how they separate. It's like, no, you haven't established that at all.
It all began a fucking nanosecond. The story of Arthur was created.
The second we established the titles, they'd already diverged, but okay.
this whole thing
Now
tricky?
to undermine the really weak argument I've already made.
Intellectual property laws. You know, those laws that let us buy and sell ideas. These didn't exist way back when. No one ever
Yeah.
received a strongly worded cease and desist letter for writing a story about King Arthur and his magical sword. But today, Disney owns Star Wars, for better or worse.
Worse.
I wonder the answer to that question.
It's worse, you fuck.
The franchise is their
Disney
property, and that
basically owns the entire apparatus around the world as well.
You're gonna own the film industry in a couple decades, probably.
Yeah, it's like Disney is basically the company that single-handedly turned intellectual copyright from, hey, I created this and I own it, to the original author of this thing has been dead for like a century, but we still own it. Even though they never actually gave it to us, we still own it. Like, Disney is pure evil when it comes to copyright and ownership. They are
Yeah, they've been
just
pulling
awful.
really shady shit, wanting to keep like Mickey Mouse and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Like,
ruthless.
so much of their stuff is out of copyright, or it should be, but because they just have so much fucking money, they keep extending it and
They buy
extending
the best
it and
lawyers,
extending it.
and those lawyers fight tirelessly to extend those copyrights. I mean, you know, it's the rule, right? The less of a thing there is, the more value it can accrue, essentially. So if you prevent if you prevent Star Wars from being made all over the place by everybody, then there's only one source we can get it from, guys. Even if that source is a
Star
big
Wars
old poopy sludge hole.
theoretically is public domain in like 2073 or something like that. So
I
in
feel like
our
it'll be-
lifetimes, everybody, in our lifetimes, chat,
I feel like
Star
that'll be
Wars-
extended.
No
public domain,
chance.
Just make
go back
it-
to fixing it.
That'll probably be
No
extended. Well,
chance.
I was gonna say that'll probably be extended unless they've killed it by then. They don't give a fuck. They're like, it's not worth anything anyway. So they'll probably sell it back to Lucas for $1. He's just like, oh.
Robot Lucas, you have
Yes.
returned to me. They all do.
Makes one movie and it's like 10 times better than anything they ever make. And we're all just like, wow. Here we go.
You've been hiding your power level this whole time, Lucas.
Or, you know, like that time some guy created a fan movie that everyone really loved, and Disney was like, huh, we made that. Remember when that happened?
Good times.
Which one?
That Vader fan film. Still better than anything Disney's made.
Oh.
That makes them the gatekeepers. That means they get to determine what stories do or don't earn a permanent place in the lore. Consequently, they can decanonize thousands of pages of stories with a simple press release.
And then
Yeah, they
steal their
can.
ideas.
Yep.
At first, they were pretty laissez-faire, allowing Abrams and Johnson, respectively, to make The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi on their terms.
Which makes no sense, doesn't it? Like, they kill all of the EU, and then they're like, yeah, you guys go nuts. It's like, what? Seemed like you really wanted to control it, but then you also didn't give a fuck.
The subsequent backlash compelled Disney to tighten their grip in Episode 9. That led to some serious backpedaling on previously introduced story elements, and some arguably overzealous course correcting. Now, this would be totally chill if we were going by medieval standards of storytelling, but
That's probably not true.
No.
Because, again, you're talking about the difference between adaptations and sequel. If you have, like, a big group of people in a bar, right, that you're telling a story, and it sort of ends, it's like a half-hour thing, and then you're like, and now, what happened after that? And you start the story again, and it directly contradicts that first half an hour. There's probably going to be a patron in there that's like, hey, how is that possible?
Wait a second.
I thought that character was dead. It's like,
You said he was
no,
dead.
sir, he's alive now, because I wish to tell more
What?
stories about him. It's like,
He's
what?
what?
That's fucking nonsense.
It's not. That's not how it works. When you're dead,
Outraged.
you're dead. It's like, but you see, no one's ever really gone. It's like, that's bullshit.
Gets his fucking sword out. Like, wait, calm down, sir. I'm simply telling my story.
thankfully, knights in smelly armor are no longer a thing, and
Smelly armor, huh?
Knights in smelly armor.
these days, our society is completely saturated with media. As a result, we are a pretty savvy audience with more sophisticated standards when it comes to world building and storytelling.
No,
what's
we're
that?
not.
What do
We
you
would
mean?
Like, in theory we are, but no, we're not.
In practice, not even close. Because there are idiots like this who will defend anything.
I think people cared about impossibilities back then just as much as they do now. Like, what's being told? I don't know. I'm finding it hard. Go ahead.
Yeah, probably their ability to rationalize complex plots and pick holes in them and stuff. They you know, like he's saying here, they had less media available to them, so they probably just didn't mind so much back then. You know, we've got some traveling minstrel who's telling us an amazing story. That's fine to keep us entertained. Like now, yeah, we do have higher standards in terms of what's consistent and what we believe and, you know, what we consider good entertainment, I would imagine.
I guess he's just shitting on older people, and by older people I mean really older people.
Dead people.
Hell,
1,000-year-old
if we
people.
weren't, then this
No, Rags deresonated people.
Oh, they've deresonated.
channel
A
probably wouldn't
deresonation.
even be a thing. Sure, multiple interpretations could peacefully coexist in Arthuriana, but in
Bring me Solo. No deresonation.
No deresonation.
No. He must be deliver him to me completely resonated.
Could you imagine if this dude here was one of those bounty hunters and you just see him like hang his head like, oh,
No,
no
but
deresonation.
In
Yeah,
Star
sorry,
Wars,
let
the
me roll him back a sec.
with more sophisticated standards when it comes to world building and storytelling. Hell, if we weren't, then this channel probably
No,
wouldn't
all the
even be a
TLJ
thing.
apologists prove
Sure,
that's
multiple
wrong.
interpretations could peacefully coexist in Arthuriana, but in Star Wars, the conflicts within
Those
the
aren't
canon and the
multiple
scenes of
interpretations.
rebuttal.
Those are different stories.
Yeah, but a different interpretation of the same story is not the same as a sequel.
They wouldn't even be that, though. Like, the original story would have been interpreted, but then other interpretations would be interpreting the interpretations, if you know what I mean? Like, I doubt
Yeah.
all of them are
like
coming
their
from the original.
interpretations. They're just like, this version of the story just will be different.
Well, yeah, like,
That's
if we were like, let's do
That's
King
just a
Arthur in
different
space,
story.
and someone's like, that's your interpretation? It's like, it's not really interpretation. I'm just... No,
Yeah, but it's stupid. It's like, okay, let's say we had different interpreted versions of. Okay, Luke is not a boy, he's a girl in this version. And instead of having a lightsaber, she gets her father's nunchucks or so. Like, it doesn't change the story. As a thing, and it's not set in space, it's set in a small village somewhere, and he sails across the seas to the people who are developing the dangerous weapon that it's like, oh, it's an Irish story, and they're going to go and sail across the seas and fight the English because that's what
Did you
always
bring your
happens.
laser nunchucks?
Like it. But it's just all those changes that we've made haven't changed the story. So it's just
Yeah, they're
Peacefully coexist in Arthuriana. But in Star Wars, the conflicts within the canon and the scenes of rebuttal create a storytelling discord that is glaringly
Rebuttal?
apparent to the audience. That discord is compounded by the fact that we're all consuming the exact same version of Star Wars.
no shit.
yeah.
yeah, that's why it
It's almost
baffles.
like what I said at the beginning.
Yeah,
Movies are
like,
different
what
from
was the point of this
Yeah.
whole
tales.
video?
Instead of, hitting up our favorite local bard for a new, possibly inconsistent retelling. In the age of
It wouldn't be an inconsistent
It would
retelling
just be.
if it was a different version. That's kind of the whole fucking point.
I mean, it's a
If there is no
actually
solid
do.
objective text to go from, all you're getting is interpretations. There's nothing objective to reference back to. And that's the difference here. When it comes to these movies, we have an objective text to look at, and we can say, this happens, this happens, this happens, because it's there. If you're just going on, well, I heard this story one time, and let me tell it, and I'm going to fuck some bits up, there's nothing to compare it back to. Yeah.
mass media, we're not as willing to forgive inconsistencies as the great Homeric fandom was. So while Star
Great
I mean,
Homeric
okay, so
fandom.
let's be so we have. I mean, how does he explain the fact that there are like thousands of denominations of like Christianity? Like even those have like all these references and based on interpretations and what they think of this and that and the other thing. Like, are those all retellings of it? Like, for instance, are all the different versions of the Bible, are they retellings or interpretations or
Sequels.
how would you even
it's
qualify
like
that?
this is why there is literally things like the Testament according to James, the Testament according to Peter, the Testament according to John. This is why these all exist, but they all share the same basic stories. They're just told in slightly different ways. So what?
Star Wars suffers from the same repetitions and inconsistencies of your classic epic, it does so in an extremely media-conscious society, where every decision is held up to a Reddit thread.
Well then, surely, because if he's trying to argue it's because of our modern society, it's like, well, how come every film doesn't have this reaction to it then? Like, surely we'd be dealing with this with all kinds of... Not to say that we don't, there's lots of movies that this applies to, but there's simultaneous... Like, it's just the easy go-to from even earlier on to try and match his argument. With all the shit saying, like, 12 Angry Men is so inconsistent. All of its rules are broken in the film, you know? It's terrible. It's like, nobody's saying that. Or at least I haven't seen anyone say that. Point being, it's just like, when it comes to Star Wars, it's like Arthurian legends. When it comes to things that make sense, oh, well, I don't know. They're fine. Leave them alone.
Red microscope. Viewed in this light, is it really all that surprising that the Rise of Skywalker hasn't pleased everyone? Star Wars is
It's not about whether or not it pleased everyone. Is the argument there that he's trying to say, like, it's hard for it to reconcile Force Awakens and TLJ at the same time? Because I agree with him. But it's not like TROS didn't shit the bed on its own anyway. Do either of you have any thoughts on such a thing? It would seem Rags is having a call right now.
Oh, no.
Yeah, like
This
I don't
guy
know,
is
I
saying a
don't
lot
like
of words, but not
Yeah.
very much. He is speaking a lot, but saying very little.
Well, it's just like, it almost seems like a cop-out to sort of be like, yeah, it's not going to please everyone. It's like when people say, yeah, okay, it's not perfect. Like, nobody wants everything to be perfect, right? That's not...
Yeah.
I mean,
in a
maybe some people
13-minute
do.
In a 13-minute video, he's basically reached the same conclusion that we all probably would have reached within the first 30 seconds, in that you're trying to compare two things that are fundamentally different, like the Arthurian legends, which were in a completely different time and a completely different media and format and everything, with modern day Hollywood filmmaking, and you're ultimately acknowledging the disparity between the two and the fact that you can't really compare them, and that really, movies are held to a higher standard, and that you've got a movie that ultimately turned out shit from a combination of bad writing and, poor oversight, and having multiple directors telling their own versions of something that was supposed to be a sequential story. Like, this is something we all kind of knew straight away, but like he's just come really like full circle in how he's actually getting to it. And it seems like kind of a pointless argument he's making.
I'm curious if he's going to say the word apology at any point in this, or if this is just going to be, we're supposed to interpret that we're supposed to apologize because inconsistency... This is kind of a different version of plot holes don't matter, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm still kind of waiting for him to actually link this, because so far his entire use of Arthur basically, well, there are different versions of the same stories over there. Like, therefore, plot holes don't matter in the current era. What? What? Just fucking what?
is positioned as a modern myth and uses the same storytelling techniques. And yet it's judged by a completely different or exacting standard than classic epics, myth.
It's judged by a different standard because
It's
it's
a
not the same
different thing
fucking
to
thing,
do.
is it?
Because it's in a different media. Like,
Yeah.
this is shitty video. It's such
Why
a
don't you
pointless
judge the random bard's tale the same way you judge a corporation series of movies? Like, oh, I don't know. It's a good question.
And legends
this is like what you said earlier, the analogy you gave about a bunch of guys in a pub, like telling a story, right? It's like if three different guys were retelling the same event and they were all pissed and they gave like a different version of events. You're
And
not going to
Disney
hold
buys
them.
the story and makes one of them canon.
Yeah, but you can't hold that to the same standard as a movie. Like, it's just ludicrous.
Yeah, but even still, if you had a bard telling a story of some kind, or traveling merchant fucking decides to do it, whatever. But if they're inconsistent, like I said, he has a character die, and then they're just in the next scene randomly. It'll be like, people will still have issues with that.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just because of modern sensibilities, and you might be like, oh, well, yeah, those inconsistencies, and I'd be like, oh, so it's not about being inconsistent then, it's about the degree of inconsistency, which I probably agree with to a degree. Like, the standard one, like somebody, I don't know, their socks are really high up in one scene, but then they're low down in the next scene. Be like, oh,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
What's more, contemporary storytelling idioms mean that Disney has to maintain a strict, controlled canon for a franchise that seems destined to defy the concept. The Rise of Skywalker and J.J. Abrams worked within the confines of expectation and epic structure and attempts to conclude a saga over 40 years in the making across 9
40 years in the making is a bit, like, that's not really accurate, is it? They started creating from 12 they bought Star Wars?
All right. What I miss?
Yeah, plus the OT was never created with the idea that the story would be concluded by a different company like 30 years later.
Yeah, like
that's
the
not, like-
idea that the work has been going for 40 years. It's like,
Yeah,
no, it
this
hasn't.
This isn't a culmination of jack shit, man. This is a culmination of 3 or 4 years of Disney half-assing
This is, you watch the OT in the cinema with your dad, you come home, and he's really drunk suddenly, and you ask him to give you the next 3 movies.
It's another night.
And he's like, the next 3 movies, yeah, okay, so, there's the Ray. And you're like, what? And she's like, there's a girl on the desert. She's gonna save the world. You're like, why? You're like, just shut up.
Dad, can you just go back to beating mom?
No, you gotta hear about the palpatism coming back. And you're like, how did he come back? Just shut up. He's back, he's
Space
cool.
magic. Dark side.
God damn it. Johnny, you're not listening.
Movies while also trying to satisfy a passionate and outspoken fan base. Let's see Crescendo Twat.
Well, fucking Force Awakens managed it, didn't it? Force Awakens was widely well received, at least at first.
Yeah.
Rogue One was well received. It's just that everything started to drop off after that mysterious film, The Last Jedi. I wonder why that is. Do you guys think why that is? I don't know.
I want to go back. What did he say about Star Wars is destined to defy something? Like he said something. He was talking about like structure and consistency, and was like Star Wars is destined to defy canon or something retarded. I think it was about
than classic epics, myths, and legends ever were. What's more, contemporary storytelling idioms mean that Disney has to maintain a strict, controlled canon for a franchise that seems destined to defy the concept. The Rise of Skywalker and J.J. Abrams.
How is Star Wars destined to defy the concept of having a canon that makes sense?
Yeah, I don't see why.
It is Star Wars is defying the concept that things make sense.
Currently it is. But that's not because that's not what they. This is the most hilarious thing. You have this guy standing in front of JJ and Ryan, operating to an audience like, it doesn't make sense on purpose. It's all stupid on purpose. You don't understand, guys. Arthurian, and they cut him off, and they're like, no. It does make sense. It does. What do you? Go away. You have no idea.
Ignore this man.
Our work is incredible. It does make sense. And then he's like, no, it doesn't make sense on purpose, and they just start fighting with each other.
You're defending us for all the wrong reasons, sir.
It's like, stop helping us. It's not.
I can help myself.
Worked within the confines of expectation and epic structure, and attempts to conclude a saga over 40 years in the making across 9 movies.
It wasn't over 40
trying
years
to satisfy.
Yeah, we went over that. That's bullshit.
It was like 6
He's trying to
years.
make this sound like this Herculean task, and it's like, it really wasn't. You could have had a guy at his basement make a better fucking story than what Disney did with all of their millions of
Arthurian
dollars.
legend, 1,000 years in the making.
Yep. That's what I mean. That's what he would say.
Wow, it must be really fucking good. Then.
Holy shit, they've been working on it for 1,000 years.
Oh
Wow.
my goodness! Wow, that guy is old. Who made this? Noah.
He passed it on his entire generation. You just can't finish it. Someone's got to figure it out. Every son in the generation and daughter. I'm not keeping them out of it. I'm sorry.
Whoa,
A
hold on.
passionate and outspoken fan base. Let's see Crescendo Twat give that a try.
I'm
But
pretty
what do
sure
you
he had
guys think?
critics.
Do you want Star Wars?
Do you really want to know what we think?
Yeah.
Yes, I want Star
you
Wars
think?
to stay
Hey.
faithful to canon. I would like it to make sense and be internally consistent. I'm sorry if that makes me a bad person, but you're a fucking moron if you excuse this.
Star Wars being inconsistent with itself is resonance.
It was,
This was
destined
terrible.
to be that
Like,
way,
you
don't
didn't-
you know?
It was
Then shit.
destined to not make sense from the beginning.
It kind of sounds almost like this guy's just thought up certain phrases and stuff that's like, oh, that sounds cool. And then he's just like, I'm going to drop it in wherever. And it doesn't matter if it makes any sense in context. Like, it'll just sound good.
Yeah, it sounds kind of like, you know, he's watched some YouTube videos and just got some phrases. Yeah, and is like, oh, I like this phrase, but he doesn't know what it means at all.
Wars to stay faithful to Lucas's original vision? Or is it more exciting when new authors interject new ideas into
Yet they're
the
not
story?
It's
Stop
fine
calling
if
them
they
new
put-
ideas. It's like
It's
as if
fine
that's
if
it.
they put in new ideas, but they need to be consistent with what has come before. You can't break already established rules with your new idea.
Well, I remember like the first complaints about the Force Skype call coming in, and a lot of the defenses were like, "You just want the Force to never evolve or grow or change. You just want it to be the same forever." It's like, I don't know, I just wanted to make sense. I didn't know the full Skype call was a possibility. That's all.
I don't
Man,
want it
think
to
of all
be
the times
used
Vader
to
could have
make the
Skype
entire
called Luke.
plot happen.
Star Wars, you're going down a path I can't follow.
Thoughts. Let us know what you think in the comments. As always, a huge
We made you a handy video for you to watch. There you go.
Hooray!